Edward. Homeworks were just popping in for a bit. Yeah, I was just going to ask that, Alexander, because I saw your thing in chat there. The live is alive. I like that. Just making my post. Okay. Hello, night. I'm too nice again. Oh, hello, Anthony. Center stage, null and void, and blur. Hello, hello, hello. Let's try on the camera here. Hello. Oh, easy. It's lots of hellos. Everybody, hello. Welcome. But welcome back. Trying to think if there's like announcement things. I don't think so. I'm just giving another minute here. Still have a minute till 6. I like tractors. Tractors are cool. I still have all that like expanse stuff over here. Like I haven't actually put these up yet. I need to do that. I've just been so busy the last couple of weeks. Haven't had the chance to, but I do want to get those up because my Rossi's up there, but not the rest. Oh, I didn't bring a chair for Michael. He'll figure it out. But I really want to get that stuff figured out. But one day, I'm already a little hyped for that G5 and to know if it will be a timeline where Cozy Glow 1 or if it will just be a continuation with 3D G4 flashbacks. Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling that when it comes to the main 6, that what it's going to be is I think my mic's peaking a little bit there. It's more than likely going to be where they're going to be referenced and then they're going to pop up in like the last 10 minutes as either a dream sequence, like speaking to them from a ghostly realm, or they're going to return in some way, but they can't come in as a main part in any way. Otherwise they would just take over. So I can see them only coming in for like 5 minutes or something. Yeah, there's a lot of questions, but there's very little answers right now. But it's got everybody excited. And I would have been concerned of like it being a Philly Fantasia type thing. No, it actually looks good. And most people, the main response has been positive. So I think that makes me the happiest, is just that it's kind of like with the Duke Nukem and everything, where the longer you build up the hype for something, the less positive response you're going to get, and I'm surprised that actually came out positive. Oh yeah, I saw them in the background or whatever, but yeah, I hear the button now. Boop boop. Okay. But yeah, I the one thing I'm not looking forward to with the 3D horses is that anytime anybody made anything that looked or came out of a professional program with 3D horses, it almost always led to a bunch of negative comments towards SFM. And you'll start seeing of like, hey, have you seen these before? They look way better. And it's like, yeah, but do you know how much more work it takes to do those? Like, SFM isn't about detail; it's about simplicity. And yeah, I'm waiting for that. But I went through multiple iterations of that, and all the times where people said, "Hey, look at these models; they look great." Have you seen any big, large video projects come out with them? No. So I'm gonna stick with what works. Do you think the main five could have died since they don't live as old as alicorns? I have no idea. It's gonna be. We're gonna see when it happens. I'm not one for making conjectures on stuff because I don't know yet. And most of the people that start throwing out theories really get ingrained to their theory, and then they start working out the smaller details behind it. And then when their theory doesn't work out to be true, they get angry about it. I'm just gonna enjoy things when it happens. Sometimes I'd rather not think about things because it makes it. I used to overthink it, and then I could start seeing what was going to happen, and it would ruin a surprise. And so I just stopped thinking about stuff. I enjoy going into it, emptying my brain, and letting things happen as they happen. And I usually enjoy the experience more. Hello. That's a very emotional face. Yes, he's very. Well, originally before I started, I had it like that, and that's a different emotion. Hello, Chicken. Yes, I keep forgetting to bring Chicken down, but Michael's in the way. One day, Chicken will replace the Michael. Oh yeah, probably should. Yeah. So, anyway, what did I join on? You joined on to horses. I guess. I'm not 100% confident in my recording starting all the time now, so I'm going to double check. It is. All right, good. So welcome. We're still working on this thing. Well, okay, not like this thing. Let me undo that. It was very close to what that face was, but I just enhanced the smile a little bit. Oh, and I need to start music too. So I did do some work on this over the past. I think I did it on Wednesday, Thursday, and part of Wednesday, and then a lot of Thursday I was busy doing other stuff that's to come figure it out later, but I did quite a bit. So I did all these ones that are in red are the ones that I basically have the shot locked down and keyframed. Some of these other ones that they're just not keyframed, but they're some stuff done. I'm still hope to have this done next week, but it's going to be a long weekend, I think, if I want to do that, so we'll see. But yeah, so I have her start of animated starting.
Well, Big Mac, we're in the big leagues now.
But I kind of just smothered I just did initial blending. There's still a lot of work. Oh, actually, the first motion here.
Well, Big Mac.
Yeah, I did a little bit of the secondary with that.
Yep.
I did his keyframing. I did the keyframing for some of these. Did the lip syncing for these.
College savings. Wait, what?
This one,
Yep.
I did his keyframing before. It was just head bobbing. So this is keyframed, and those were technically already done. So yeah, that's kind of where I am on this. All right, see you later, Edward. Good luck on your homework. The chicken is evil. No, the chicken is not evil. He's just misunderstood. That's what all evil people are. So what I want to do here is, I think my goal today is if I can finish this scene. And when I say finish the scene, it's not going to be done. There's a background that isn't here yet, like trees and everything. That's going to take a while, but get the animating done, because once I get the trees and stuff up, it shouldn't be that bad. I think what I want to do though is I want to figure out the rest of these scenes in terms of what their backgrounds are going to be, because that's going to be with more her cruising around, and I don't want to build up an expectation at the beginning that I'm going to be having a very difficult time executing towards in the later part. So I'd rather do that part, figure out what works, so it's not, if I'm going to have her running around, I don't want to have to build up tons and tons of unique scenes. So if I can make them more simple and watered down, and then translate that to the earlier scenes. Get 3 new emojis. Oh yeah, hello, Redstoner. Demargo, open up your eyes. The chicken wants to kill us all. He's fine. He's fine. Actually, wait. I wonder, can I make him like? I'm gonna make him extra evil now. Hold on. He's extra misunderstood. Here we go. Bam. Oh, come on. What do you know work? I just do the color. There we go. There. It's evil chicken stand. How's that? Oh, I miss my other light. Wait, how do I get back to it? No, that's not it. Sorry, I'm old manning my app here. It's actually kind of confusing. There we go. Okay. Kill the chicken. No, I already ate dinner. So let's see what I can do here. Cat chicken is far more powerful than any of us. Yeah, I can't see like I can't do anything about chicken. Chicken is love. Chicken is life. Become the chicken. Okay, one sec. Actually, I can't do it with that hand. I have to do it with this hand, which makes it more difficult. This Gargo gets possessed. There we go. And so, usually like, yeah, go off to the side and then send me like, hello. That wasn't even the wrong voice. Hello. Sorry, I was coughing before. Now I can't even talk. Hi. Bark, bark, you're dead? You better start praying. I'm gonna deep fry you. Where's my finger? There. Yeah, there's you. Bark. I don't touch. Chicken's too evil. It burns my hand. You know what I need to do? I need to like go to KFC and I need to get a KFC bucket. And I need to put chicken in the bucket. Like put him in a good old bucket of chicken. Oh, he's sitting right up there. Oh no, he looked really sick around. It's bad language. Deep fried. No. Well, at least if you do, like, be nice about it or something. Put them in gently. But now I really want to do that. Like, get a big old KFC bucket. Problem is, they give it to you and it's going to be all greasy. And then if I try to wash it, it's probably going to, like, fall apart. KFC, the stuff's not made to, like, last forever or anything. Okay, so I gotta figure out some of the... I'm more worried about her transition and stuff, not the in-between. Like the... Because like right now she kind of just stops moving right here. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about these transition points. So can I... Okay, it's just... That's locked right now. Nicent, yes. Just gave me meme material? Sure. Everybody loves a meme. A new background? What did, background? Oh, it is... That thing? Has it really been that long since you've been here? Because that's been there for a while. I think that works. Yep, that's perfect. Ah, okay. Yeah, I built that. Oh god, this has been a couple of weeks. It's probably been more than that, actually. It's probably been almost a month. I don't know when the last time you were here, though. So, I mean, maybe that makes sense, but... Many streams were missed. Yeah, I thought I'd been a while. Actually, I thought about that like last week, where I hadn't seen you. So, Oh, now I gotta see here. Does it make sense for me to have her pulled back a little?
Big man?
I don't think so. Or at least, I think I'm over detailing it for something that's supposed to be stupid shit post.
Well, big man? Well, big man? Well, big man? Well, big man?
Yep, I think I'll just not bother with it. Waffles or pancakes? I think we've talked about this once before. I think they're both good. I kind of like pancakes more just because I like the big flatness and you can cut through all of them. But I like waffles are like easier. And actually, I make it's not a breakfast waffle. If you take cauliflower rice, so just rice cauliflower, and mix it with a whole bunch of mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, I believe it's paprika, and an egg or two, salt and pepper, and you just mix it all together, shove it in your waffle maker for like, I think it's 4 or 5 minutes, 4 to 6 minutes. I can't remember the exact time. And it basically makes like a cheesy waffle that you just add some like egg and hot sauce to, and it's really good. That was when I was trying to do lower carb stuff. Now I haven't cared as much. I've been slowly mixing stuff back into my diet and adding some flexibility to see if it changes the weight I lost, and it hasn't. So I basically have been adding on a ton. Like I'm almost halfway back to what I was doing before I started trying to lose weight, and I'm still sitting at the same weight. So I probably overdid it.
Well, big man?
You were here doing great. Coffee market crash. That was. We won't do that again.
Well, Big Mac? We're in the big leagues now.
Okay.
We're in the big leagues. We're in the big.
Well, probably at some point. I do want to do some predictions, but there's nothing that I don't want to do it based on my own input anymore, because that was mean, but it was funny.
We're in the big leagues.
Okay, so I do need to keep her back legs unlocked. This is the one part that's tough, but I have to keep that leg sliding like that.
We're in the big leagues. We're in the big leagues now.
So the one thing I'm trying to actually pay attention to this time is I always had the lip syncing off, because when I'm hearing it, it's like 3 frames after when it actually is playing, because SFM is stupid. And so I have to keep going through here and like doing the shift time to actually determine the right timing. Otherwise, I keep having these motions that are not timed with the audio correctly when I go into post, and that is frustrating. And that's the one thing that's going to suck with the music at the end, because the music is tied with to the beat of something. That's actually why, if you look here, I have these markers. These markers are the actual shift speed, like when you hear the actual beat, so I can just time the shot cuts on those or anything that's going on instead of basing it on my ear. A lot of people have lots of coffee, and lots of people are starving with few coffees. Well, it just means that the couple people that gain lots of coffee are I see a stupid face. I get to it in a second. They're gonna be throwing in the Michael Derptatorship. I wrote Tip-Top's under a game you made. Did the other players have to buy the simulator as well? Other players have to own Tabletop Simulator. All right, yeah, other players need to own the Tabletop Simulator, but they don't need to own the mod, and the mod's is free. But the only way to get into the game is for people to own the game. That I have no control over. All right, stupid face. What do we got here?
Cool.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Roll. Hope the evening is going well so far. Semperfi? Actually, I didn't see if that was an emote. The chat here only puts emotes in text. But anyways, hello. Yeah, my evening is going very well. Thank you, Bill. I hope your evening is going well as well. I'm kind of distracted. Well, she's fine. We're gonna... There we go. Oof. Okay, I thought I had all this stuff on here prepped, but apparently I forgot that one. Okay. Oh, thank you, Hyrule. Thank you very much. I hope you are having a fantastic, whatever day this is. Friday. Actually, I keep going to bed a little too late, so like the last, I'm hoping to sleep in a little bit tomorrow, but I took a nap today just because I was like tired. All right, there we go. We got Okay, this is probably not gonna 100% work, but
Well, Big Mac, we're in the big leagues now.
oh, all the facial stuff must be named different. No. They're named different enough. Well, thank you, Luna Pulsar. Thank you very much. Very awkward number, but I'll take it. But yeah, thank you very much. Welcome. That's not cursed. It's fine. Look at, she's got double hair. She's got like her sister's hair and her hair. And she even got a beard. It's a feature. Or it's like, or no, actually, no, that's not hair. That's her attack spike. So if when they're negotiating price of apples and she doesn't agree with the price, she can just like gore them. We can give people points. Can I give people points? Ooh, I have a 2x multiplier. Haha. My 2x multiplier for like infinite points. Hello. I forgot to get your chair.
My chair.
And I just did leftovers. I vanished for a second before you finished the hot ray shadow. Okay. Okay, we need to add flank mark mirroring in G5. No, they're toys. They only get it on one side. Yeah, chicken took over for you. No.
Beating up the chicken.
Yeah, you know what's gonna happen when you go to sleep.
Oh no! I'm sorry, chicken. Good pets.
Well, geez, thank you, Luna. Geez.
Cool.
And congrats to Boris, Redstoner, Pat, Emerald, and Sax.
Cool.
Well, hello, Sax. But thank you very much.
Cool.
Happy Friday, everybody. Need to make a stand, maybe an unused mic stand. Provide chicken with a roost when Michael is unavailable. Yeah, I wish that I thought about like putting the camera up higher. I was hoping this thing was a little bit lower when I got it, but it's fine. Chicken's fine. It's probably better that way. Oh snap! So, but thank you very much. Chicken is fine. Yeah, for those that do have sub, because for anybody, whatever. On the Discord, there's a special chat that you get access to, and which has some behind-the-scenes stuff. That I think there was a link that popped up just a little bit ago. Yeah, if you scroll up, for accessing that. Also, you get Mike Pockface, which is pretty wonderful too. It's my favorite emote. Mike loves it too. Apple Bloom loves it too. She's let's see here. See, she loves it so much. She's gonna like replicate, I guess, and she's gonna be like. Yes, this is. This is Apple Bloom Pogface. There's the head. Indeed, your head. There. There. There's Pog. No, actually. It looks like somebody just took like a plastic like trash bag and like gave it eyes, but it's fine. Finally, secret chat. If it doesn't pop up immediately, it'll pop up in a little bit. Anybody remember that one meme with like that looks like from the 70s where that one guy's like, yeah, that's what this is like. When your favorite artist enjoys the same ships that you do. Yeah, it's anybody. The only separation between Prime and not Prime is for the tier 2 and 3, because tier 2 subs get early access for videos starting in March, and up, mainly to help balance it with Patreon, so that it's not keeping it balanced between the two. But other than that, it doesn't matter if it's Prime or not. I'm gonna undo this because it's the longer it sits, the more cursed it gets. It's fine. And like, bow to Apple Bloom. Like, Apple Bloom demands kisses. And then he likes his sister. Okay. Oh. Okay, I was gonna say, oops, I broke. I gotta make sure to get rid of the scale. And get rid of the scale. Okay. It's fixed. Oh, hell, Till Wrench, you came into fun. That's what that is. I'll miss you. But I tend to actually talk more in the supporter chat than I do in any of the other chats, but I've been asking a lot of questions lately for some stuff to just get opinions, and so that's where I tend to ask it, so. Anybody new in that, just check the pins. Well, some of the pins are just early videos, but yeah, that's going to be... I have another supporter-only video coming out as soon as I have the time to finish it. Hopefully next week or so. I'm just been really behind on catching up with that stuff.
Well, Big Mac, we're in the big leagues now. We're in the big.
Okay, good. I thought I was going to lose this because I hadn't actually finished this motion. But good, I can actually do this. This needs to bend. It's going to be a difficult bend, though. That's what I thought. It's a complex bend. Let's see if I can just go straight back like this and see if that'll work. Actually, this one won't matter too much because her going and doing that motion means this leg's going to be lifted, so I'm going to be fixing that hoof anyway, so I don't think it really matters. I'm going to be flying to Florida with family for vacation next week, so, oh, that should be nice. some nice weather. Actually, we're still talking about like having it be from 25 to 40 here in Fahrenheit, which is pretty nice at this time of year anyway. You can order stream if you don't get there at the beginning. You always find something completely confusing. Yes, out of context is just as good though. Okay, so this did bend her legs, these legs back a little bit. I don't hear her talking there. So this stretched them a little bit. Kinda. I think, like, even just bending those down a little bit should be all that's really needed. Now, there is a teeny bit of a stretch. And it may be small, but it is important to do that. Otherwise, it just looks weird. Like it's like locked in place. Thank you, Jules. Big leagues, yes. 76. We got the one thing I'm looking forward to with the 76 stream this weekend is now that I've got my video set up correctly, I can stream it in 720, so that should actually help with bit rates and quality rates. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to being able to do that, so I can not trying to stream at a quality that is just impossible. I wonder if should I have her dip down? I might have her dip in this too. Yeah. See, does it work to have it do a little dip? Yep, actually it works really well. But I did it a separate move because I could time it differently. But now this, all these legs have to bend down. This is where a rig would be absolutely wonderful. Okay, Apple Bloom, your butt is in the way. Thank you. Your sister is in the way. Well, just delete her. It's a little too far. There we go. So again, I'm not too worried about. So I'm just gonna kind of bend it to whatever. Where's your shoulder? There it is. This one should be easy. Though I think I didn't bend that enough. I mainly just look at it and say, like, is that elbow in the same spot? Because technically this, I can't like condense this bone. So if it stays in the same spot, then it's a fairly legitimate move. So I think that should be fine. I might have to adjust a little bit of this because she has a little sideways wobble here. You see? But that's because I'm doing two motions of the same bone and spacing it out. You can already see that it like flattens some of these motions. And I can't do anything about that because SFM is really bad with small numbers. 32-bit program. Can't disclose my secrets. Fine, keep your secrets then. Don't worry, I can... all I can do is redact it. Well, don't worry, a Spiffing Brit will probably do a video on that and break the market of something. Alright, see you later, Boris. Have fun at work. I just watched the thing on his thing recently where they like how to get free Xbox games off the live service, and it was actually like a stupid easy exploit, and that they just hadn't fixed forever. And there's a bunch of comments of people saying like, yeah, I've been doing that for years. Why'd you have to ruin it? Okay. So I think I can do this lift now. But okay, so it's from... I want to have her with the hoof down for a sec. Or up until the last second when it moves, which is right here to here. I'm going to probably have to change that time, though. Because I want to have her hoof hit and then lift her up. Which might be difficult to do, being it's kind of already, you know, locked in. But we'll see. Really, I don't think I have to worry about putting that kind of detail in this stuff anyway. It's just a shit post. Okay, so this I feel like yeah, I have a feeling that I'm gonna just have to leave it as that. If I could make it in better, but it would actually take a while. RT already broke his channel points economy. Oh yeah, I know. Well, it was from watching him that kind of was like, oh, that looked like fun. So that's why I thought I'd play around with that a little bit. But his channel point economy, I don't think he has that much he can do with channel points though. So there's no use. If you don't have a use for him really, then there's the economy doesn't really matter. Other than people just like being able to abuse the hell out of like highlighting messages or something. He's making dinner. Plus, I do plan to have some like grass that's on here, so I did change everything so that they're all other legs were like interacting with the ground. I think this one might be clipping a little bit though. Yeah, but anyways, I changed it so the grass will be hiding. They'll go and move from grass into grass, so it should be kind of fine. He's fixing, yes, he's fixing up the kitchen. She sees a bug. She's like, oh god.
Oh no. Get it.
You see? She's... she sees the bug. And she's like, oh, no.
Trying to fight it off. It's a big bug.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yay. Did you get my text?
Mm-hmm. I had no idea what you were talking about though until it took me a little bit to think. I'm like, did somebody say something in chat about Derpy?
No, the book.
Yeah, I know, but nobody's read it otherwise, so.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything here.
No, but it's like a lot of stuff that nobody understands otherwise. So,
Big
where am I at in this?
leagues now. Back. We're in the big leagues now.
Okay, so her head. Lord Meek. You are Lord Meek.
I have tacos. I use some of that beef rice.
Nifty.
Figured it would be pretty good. Found some tomatoes as well.
I'm trying to just think. I need to listen to this in slow motion. So I need to speed that up. I think she's not fast enough.
It's Taco Friday.
But we made them on Wednesday, and so it's
They're Wednesday
leftovers.
tacos. They're kind of a mishmash of leftovers. They're onions and tomatoes from when we had hamburgers last.
That was a while ago.
It was, but they were still good.
But the onions are baked into the meat.
So it's double onion. Because I put more raw onion on it.
Okay.
And then I have beef rice from when we made ribs.
So I do want to have her kind of like pop up a little bit. She's gonna be like boom. Oh. And then she goes on adventure. Let's see, there. This is adventure.
She flew.
But then it's like stretcher.
You gotta work out those legs. Kick it.
Where you go? Where are you, Applejack? Oh, you're outside the map. Come back so we can see you. There you are. Look, it's Applejack. Who's that pony? Like, yeah. Well,
that's all she says. That's yeehaw.
Like, yeehaw, y'all. She's so far away that like I can't even keep my mouse straight. It just wants to go all over the place. She's just yeehawing off the screen. Like, oh, there we go.
She's an unidentified flying Horsey-mon.
Horsey-mon?
Yes. Horsey-mon.
Like, what's that one? It's Ratmon. And what's that one? Red-headed stepchild-mon.
You're a Pokemon now? Well, you were never a stepchild. So.
I'm gonna take those tacos from you. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna have her stand up a little bit here.
Those are spicy.
Today is Tuesday's tomorrow. No, it isn't. What are your thoughts on Gen 5 of MLP? There are so many thoughts out there. Like everywhere I go, it's either people like coming up with theories or just trying to start conversations on it. It's like it's only been 12 hours and that's all I've heard. I think it's
don't avoid the question.
No, it's no. I think it's cool. It looks better than I expected it to. But we're only looked at like 5 seconds of footage, and so there's I like the art style, but besides that, there's just too little information to really make off of anything right now. And like I brought up earlier, if people start heavily theorizing based on like 2 screenshots and a couple videos that have no real context, all they're going to do is be disappointed when their theories that they eventually dug themselves deep into a hole with don't come true. So I like the information that's there, but I don't like thinking about it too much otherwise, because I just like seeing things as they come.
Yeah, I thought the animation and the art style was really good. I think the only negative for me that's pretty much in stone is the one cutie mark thing, because it kind of breaks continuity a little bit.
But it was a trailer. It wasn't final content.
Well, no, but the artist, the one I was talking about yesterday, the one who came up with Down the Star, she said it was the only thing she regretted.
The one cutie mark thing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the artist designs things but doesn't create the final product. Have they seen the final movie yet?
The artist who created them? I don't know if they've seen the final movie yet.
Yeah, so...
I mean, it can still change.
Yeah, right? Which means they create the designs for something. What's utilized since after that is up to the rest of the group.
It seems like the artist regretted the one cutie mark thing. So maybe they'll change their minds before it releases. I don't know.
No, but I mean, but they designed it, provided their designs.
And they were told that just the one. Essentially, that's why they regretted it. They wouldn't regret something.
You've already went and dug up all the artists, went through all their tweets?
They replied to Little Film Shy about it.
And you were looking at their tweets about how much information were you digging in through yesterday?
Didn't dig. It just showed up on my timeline.
It'll be fine. Nitpicking on little things. There's going to be things that you don't like. There's going to be things that you do like, and I'd rather not be like, oh, well, that just ruined it for me.
I wouldn't say it ruined it. And again, yeah, they can still change things. You just have to throw like bricks at Hasbro Studios or something on. Don't actually throw bricks.
But yeah, there's so little information right now, and everybody is just going nuts because now they have something new, and they are just throwing theories left and right, and that worries me that it's going to be that people are going to make assumptions, and
The main six are all dead.
but then they're going to start building up a theory around that, and then it's going to be something else, and then people are going to be angry that it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. And it's like, no, just enjoy what it is. Take it as it comes. Enjoy life until then.
How can we when all the ponies are secretly llamas?
No. They're all yaks.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's that they didn't tell you is that
Worse.
they're lying to you right now. The whole movie is going to be in Yakistan. I kind of want to see a 3D yak though.
I might get to.
I'm going to stretch this enough. Why are you putting it way over there instead of over there?
Because if it tips, I don't want it to tip on the computer.
Instead, if it tips, you're fucked either way.
Well, maybe I have a little bit of time when it's over there. I don't know. It feels safer there.
Sometimes I feel like life's too easy. I need to make it difficult. Where is hard
That's
mode?
why we put hot sauce on our food.
Hot sauce. Well, that's also because hot sauce is delicious.
It is.
Why is the all the way up here? Oh, because that's the wrong one. There we go. Yona is best pony. Yona is pretty cool. She has a fun personality.
Cool. You guys don't talk about that waifu stealer in chat.
Thank you, Bagel. Oh, thank you, Jules. Congrats, Bagel. Like, I was reading through the chat thing. I'm like, it was confusing me for a minute. Thank you, Jules. Simple solution, chug the drink. Can't spill it then.
True.
That is what we do at conventions. I'm just sad because we haven't been to a convention in a while.
Nolan Void brought up that male horse. I'm like, I can't help but feel like Hasbro brought him
Chad. He is a Chad.
in. He is. And I can't help but feel like Hasbro put him in to like create some diversity, but like the male character fans of the show will love this. It's a male character. And then we all just look at him like, waifu stealer, burn him. Burn him now.
No,
Or maybe that's just me.
I like the way that they animated him. So,
The animation's fantastic. I think that was one of my biggest concerns.
The only concern I have with that is it looked very Disney. Like, it looked like the cliche, like 3D animation style that you would get from. It looked like Brave in exactly how they did some of this stuff.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, but it just, I like, what they always made Pony different to me was it was always found its own path for a lot of things, and then that just felt like they're like, hey, let's do what they do. And
well, that's kind of how I always felt with 3D, is that it all kind of looks similar. Except for yours. Yours is unique and special.
Okay, you're okay with that. You're forgiven. I'm special.
Yes. No, but I always kind of felt like that way with Disney films. They look like they could all be from, like, 3D films. They all look like they could be from the same movie, all the characters. Whereas,
Well, that's the problem with 3D. 2D, you can vary so heavily on stuff, but I think the 3D...
style.
Oh, thank you, headphone. 7 months, jeez. It's a long time. It's like over a year. I don't math. No, I feel like 2D they had always felt like, well, no, I can't really say that they always changed styles with their. I think Disney really didn't change their.
Than 2D.
I don't think that they changed their style as much. It was they changed the type of character so much. When you're jumping from like lions to like or standard lions to anthropomorphic foxes to people to you can keep the same style, but they're so different in their characters.
Yeah.
And mermaids, it wasn't just people. It was drastic directions. But now all their 3D stuff is just starting to feel the same. But it's probably because it's everybody using like similar software and similar environments and the cost-efficient way of making the things and the ones that work.
Yeah.
So,
and it wouldn't surprise me if they keep bringing in a lot of the same designers too from film to film.
And since they're 3D, you can still copy-paste resources like they used to do for some of their animating.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one dance they showed from like Jungle Book and Robin Hood, I believe it was.
Yeah.
That was the same. But now they can legitimately copy-paste that stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, like, I felt like, yeah, Disney had a very much a style, but each film varied a little bit. And I don't feel like it varies much at all. Like, I think if you put, like, Pocahontas next to Hunchback of Notre Dame, you can tell the difference in the character designs.
Pocahontas was one that I will say had a little bit of a different... It had more of, like, a painted art feel to it.
Yeah, but I would say the same thing between, like, Cinderella and those films, too.
Cinderella doesn't count.
No. I think they got a little bit stylized with Wreck-It Ralph, but was that even Disney? I don't think that was Disney. Yeah, it was. It was Disney. I can't keep track.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they had that whole scene with all the princesses in the second film.
Oh, yeah. And that would have been expensive if DreamWorks would have done that.
Yeah, that was definitely Disney.
I never saw the second one.
It's pretty good.
My sister knew a guy that ended up working on Wreck-It Ralph 1.
Yeah.
The first one, when she was in college, she dated a guy, and then he ended up going to work at Pixar and worked on Wreck-It Ralph.
Mm-hmm. I think I remember seeing something about him starting his own studio.
I'm trying to figure out like the best timing on this. I think this will work. Maybe move that right there. Because it kind of stops a little drastically here, but I'm going to add a secondary move there. Shiny Pixar. They should release those official models SFM? No.
If they ever got leaked, Hasbro would burn everything to put them back under wraps.
Yeah, that I can see. And it doesn't matter because they look the way they do because of the engine that's showing it, not the models themselves. If those models were to be put in SFM, for one, SFM probably wouldn't be able to handle it. There's only a certain amount of vertices that you can utilize within one model.
SFM 2 would.
No. SFM,
so?
I don't think would do it. I don't think it would be able to handle the amount of vertices that those have. It's either the models have an absolute crazy number of polygons.
Yeah.
Or they have a smaller number and the software is rounding it on render.
I could see him loading in the source filmmaker, but then you would be able to load nothing else.
It's not just a memory issue. It's a limitation on the model. Like, for instance, Rathalos. Mm-hmm. Rathalos has a second body group because he has so many vertices on his model that the engine can't handle it. And so it has to have a second body group just to handle that second group of it. So, like, if I were to load in a model that was that detailed, it would probably be separated into so many different pieces, and then it would be chaotic to work with. That and all the facial flexes that are on the character are not flexes like here. They are individual bones that are done by hand or mapped from an actual program that does like facial mapping, which is what most people do now because it's way better looking for most stuff. All the little like nuances of all the face, everything, it was probably mapped somewhere. For instance, the Monster Hunter models do that as well. The Monster Hunter models for the Monster Hunter game did facial mapping for some of the detailed motions. And so when I pulled in that model into SFM to use, It just has a face covered in bones because it was just bones tied to somebody else's, getting a little peg on their face and having it recorded so that theirs moves with that bone. So,
I mean, either way,
could SFM make something that looked that good? No, probably not. Even SFM2, SFM2's biggest thing is the improved lighting, but it's not an improved render engine.
Well, it's got a higher memory capacity too.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's still a game engine.
Yeah.
So no matter what, it's not going to look the same as any other engine. It doesn't have ray tracing, so all the lighting it was in there utilized ray tracing, or maybe not like our RTX NVIDIA type ray tracing, but the actual professional grade ray tracing. SFM can't do that. So all the lighting is going to still look artificial. So even if you got good models in there, people would say it looked like crap because again, you're just moving into uncanny valley territory. That's the one thing I like with SFM is that I can keep myself away from that.
Yeah, that's something else I was worried about with the new show is that they would venture into uncanny, but they had managed to avoid it.
So yeah, I do. There are fairly good, detailed horse models that are out there, and you can. I don't know if they're publicly available, but in Blender and stuff. But the main reason I see that those were never made public or were never utilized that much is to make something that detailed takes a ton of experience to even build the model correctly, and expensive software, and then to render them to actually look good and then get the amount of work needed to animate them correctly. You're looking at teams of people, but most of the people in the community that are doing it are individual people that are doing it for free. They probably can't afford that. SFM's nice because I can literally just throw something together in like a couple hours and render it where the frames only take 5 to 10 seconds per frame, where when they did the when Creator of Pony did the EQG one video, he had to render farm it. He had to send the files out to other people that would help him render it because it was taking so long. Each frame could take hours, and SFM, the longest I've ever had a single frame take is 20 seconds or 25 seconds or something like that. It's way quicker.
I mean, it's all kind of a moot point. If those models ever leaked, Hasbro would. There'd be takedown notices every time they popped up, and they'd probably be trying to track down how they leaked.
Yeah, well, then that's where it comes down to where people, when they can take something down for likeness. SFM, they can say that they own the character, but the actual likeness is, at least I'm using a completely different medium with custom-made things made within the engine itself. If you use their asset, that is a whole different thing. If you even just use a puppet that is indistinguishable, like Forga Lorga, some of his stuff, they could send a takedown notice for that because it looks too much like the original, and therefore he is technically infringing on their copyright heavily. Right. Yeah. And they could easily send him a takedown notice, like where he could get struck for it.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about the medium I'm playing in, because it does allow me a little bit more flexibility because it can't be confused for original material.
Yeah, but could you ever actually argue with Hasbro on it, one way or the other, if they decided to actually come after you?
Could I?
It'd be a hard.
It would be more of, it wouldn't be worth it, but if they go and sued and then ends up being that they lost it, that could be even more drastic. So it's.
I mean, I don't see them doing that.
No,
it seems like Hasbro's main stance.
Just filing a suit or filing for a takedown notice, that means a lawyer has to be brought in at $100 an hour to write up a piece of paper. They're not going to do it unless they need to do it. So they prefer to sit in ignorance.
Really, the only animator who ever got
he was the only one. Yeah,
because he basically threw it in their face.
Yeah, and he was the first one that came in with content that could be confused with the original. Yeah. And he gave identity to a character that didn't have an identity, or that had a face but not an identity from the show. And so he crossed some lines, and I think that's where it kind of screwed him too.
He tried to get official permission from Hasbro, is what he tried to do. And basically they're like, yeah, you basically just told us you're infringing us on our property to a very large extent. We can't ignore this anymore, so we have to give you a takedown.
but still, even that costs money, and so that's where it's, yeah, that's, I don't know. I'd like the medium I'm in because I don't have to deal with all that stuff. I see library. Hasbro can afford to rent a professional render farm. No, if they have a full team there, they probably don't even rent it. They might even own one. But a professional render farm, those it's just a supercomputer. That's all it is. But even then, some of those supercomputers for the super big, high quality, like big budget 4K animation studios, those still take hours per frame. That's why I like being able to animate in a medium where I can see what the final quality is while I'm poking at it. In a lot of those, you don't. You're working with models that are hugely reduced in their quality. The physics isn't exactly locked in yet. That's got to probably be cleaned up later. It's just, they got to have some beast computers. That's the one thing with SFM is being an older program is that the hardware doesn't matter. Even SFM2, it doesn't really matter. But where if I was in Blender, actually having a 16 core processor, like a Threadripper, and dual 3090s would be beneficial. But then you're looking at a workstation that's costing you almost 5 digits. I like that I can run it on a toaster. It's kind of nice. I've actually been wanting to see if I can download it on my tablet. It's not a powerful tablet, but I want to see if it'll run.
I always like the story about how they rendered Toy Story back in 1995. About the warehouses and warehouses of computers that they just had set up all rendering.
Well, back then, they were inventing technology.
Yeah.
Now, it's a commonplace. So there's things out there that make things way more efficient. There's whole services that probably handle that. So it was a different time.
Your one computer could probably have rendered that movie faster than all those computers combined back in 1995, 1994.
Well, the idea is...
rendering that.
How long was Moore's Law? Was it 16 months or 18 months? I think it's 18 months. You even know what Moore's Law is?
Yeah, I know it.
Okay, I think it was 18 months. So if you think about that, if that computer was, say, 100 times more powerful than my current computer, then they would have had a computer that could do it in 10 years from 1990. So, yeah, it's probably much different, or much better now.
I remember just hearing the stories. Basically, one computer would be in charge of one frame, and it could finish that one frame each day or something. It took them like 6 months to render the film.
But then imagine seeing an error. Thankfully, if you see an error, you're gonna... it's like with me. If I see an error in a render, I don't go back and re-render the whole thing. I go and re-render that small portion. That's where, like, when I talk about the final mile on videos that it sucks is because normally it's fixing those small areas. And if I have a full render overnight, I can just hit the render button, I go to sleep, I wake up, and then I have my render. Fixed renders are where I'm doing them on the spot, and it's usually involving me hitting the render and then waiting for it to finish if it's a detailed shot. If it's not, I can go multitask in the background. That's where I'll actually, because SFM really only runs on 2 cores of your processor, I'll dedicate 2 cores to SFM in real time so that nobody or no other program touches those 2 cores. And so I can still multitask on my computer doing other things while SFM is rendering in the background, and it won't error, because if you poke around too much, sometimes while it's rendering, it'll error out. But I did that for the tackle one. I had to spend an entire evening doing fixed renders, and while it was fixing the render, I was editing, and then as soon as that render was done, I would bring it in, go and have it render the next fix. I hate last mile on videos so much. And that's something I can never pass off to somebody too. To just be like, hey, I don't like this part, you do it. I agree.
I still grumbled.
You got Borderlands calling me.
Oh.
Well, good luck with your Borderlands 3. That is a very fun game. And good luck. In college, I helped set up a render farm in our department's 3D work. We had 14 computers networked together. Each computer rendered assigned batches of frames. Yeah, I can see stuff like that. Mike.
I can read it.
Okay. Oh, hold on, we gotta get you a good shot here. Actually, I keep forgetting I got the button there. There you go.
Okay. I will take over the stream, Argo, and there's nothing you can do about it. Mwahaha!
You're gone.
Oh, turns out he can just turn the camera.
It's gone. He's gone. Wait, no, wait. It's gone.
There's nothing you can do. Here, look, I'm gonna hit a key on your keyboard. This is me taking over. No. He swatted me away.
You know what's funny is that I knew it was going to be the escape key, so I was already reaching up there. I didn't even look. Get away from me, minion.
Wow. Take control. Give me control of the stream so he is my minion for 15 minutes.
Okay, I think. And, oh, did I stretch these out? Not really.
I think the only reason I got it the 2 times is because you had like gambling things, and then people.
Yeah,
like,
I think there was a couple of people that had made out pretty good.
They used them. They used those points well. You should totally have another
Well,
thing
that-
where you give all the points to one
Well, then
person.
with like Luna and Jules and a couple others being fairly generous with subs, anytime you have a sub, it gives you a multiplier on your points gained, so that's helped people gain more points too. I think I can't remember the percentages. Is it like 10%? Is 20% for tier 1, 40% for tier 2, 100% for tier 3? I can't remember. I know it's times 2, I think, for top tier, but God, if I only had 35,000 points. Yeah.
Well, that or he gets the runs. I mean, whichever happens
I
first.
made that expensive for a reason. Because if I made it cheap enough, you all would be like, no. Well, maybe sometime we'll have a mic day where I'll make it a lot cheaper and then turn off the limit, and then I'll just go and like do a puzzle.
Be a day he's like sick or something.
1.2 for tier 1. Okay, yeah, I thought it was 20%. But is it 20, 40, and 100? I can't remember. Because I know if I look at mine, it says times 2, because if you're the owner of a stream, it gives you like the infinite sign and some other stuff. The last Sunday every 2 months. But the last Sunday is the SF or the 76 stream. I can't give him control of that.
I'm kind of already in that. And I kind of just like murder and blow up things at will, as is. Like I murdered Mitch's groundskeeper. He wasn't thrilled by that. But the guy was eyeing me funny.
I missed something here. These legs don't bend here. So from here to here. And hit the bottom right here.
It isn't me, it's the angry grandmother. She's completely separate from me.
No, I've mentioned before, Michael in a video game. Like Michael in real life, he's a super nice guy, and he'll go out of his way to make sure that everybody has a fun time, even at his own expense. In a video game, he's like, I'm gonna murder all the children, and I'm gonna lie to you on every corner if it gives me an advantage in that game.
He's never gonna forgive me for that game.
It is. He is completely opposite in video games, and it is.
I'm out to win.
Like, do I have the video on here of when I nuked you?
You probably do. You probably keep that like in your special like safe, and then you watch it once a day to like bring joy to your life. I saw a derpy.
I put it on YouTube like as a. We shared it on YouTube as like an internal group thing. So I don't know where I put that anymore though. No, it wouldn't be in there.
It's gonna be forever. That's like gonna be in the fall. You're saying that give my control over the stream nearest the LLP movie release date. That's like months away. That's
a long ways away. I don't remember where I put that, but we had a video where me and him were playing Civ against each other, and like it ended up. I nuked him and then immediately won the game, but his reaction was hilarious because like the nuke drops, and he's like, "What was that sound? Oh my god!"
I kind of wish you still had the stream when I lied. Just
I have it right here. I found
just
it.
me going, no.
I found it.
Just play Civ 5 and get your comeuppance.
Okay.
Your comeuppance.
Here. So this is Mike when we were playing Civ.
Did you just clip it?
Very well enough. Argo's yelling different names.
I'm giggling.
Oh God, when he does that
yeah.
laugh.
Yes! Yes!
What?
Yes!
Here it is.
What?
Kaboo!
Oh God!
Why do I hear? Oh no!
I missed it.
Wait, is it possible to go back in that recording, or one of you like?
Why?
Yeah, you can.
All right,
come
time to
back.
go to space.
Bunch of you?
And then I immediately won the game. It was funny. It was a good time.
It was rough. He's like, now, Mike, don't lie in video games, but I will nuke you.
Like he
Fly away.
No, there was a different game and stuff we were playing. We were all and Michael's like, he's like, yeah. He goes, I only have like 4 cities, and I'm like, Mike, you have like 13, and he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, no, I only have 4. And I'm like, Mike, I'm looking at them right now. I can't remember why, but I was able to see every settlement he had. And there was this pause, and he goes, how do you know this?
I was trying to like play down how big my empire was.
And then when we played Divinity, like anybody that looked like it was evil, he would immediately be like, well, they don't seem too bad. And then he would murder children, and he was eating corpses.
Well,
and,
yes.
And so like,
Lich was a good guy.
but he was, so it was this like, anytime in playing a video game, I don't trust in him at all in competing things, because he will do everything possible to take an advantage, even if it means lying right to your face, and for his own advantage. So it's just so funny that Mike in the digital world is a butt.
Basically, it's kind of one of those like, I'm not gonna dump a vat of acid on you. But
Soviet
you have
wants you
something
to.
I want. So
Soviet wants you to replicate that moment in real life.
what the nuke moment?
Yeah. Like hold on, we gotta do the that. Okay, hold on.
Well, if I remember that correctly, this me.
Here comes Nuke.
Oh no! No! Why? I just wanted the dolphin. No! Chicken is nuke. Chicken is like nuke. It is awful and no one likes it.
Michael.
No.
Kaboom.
No kabooms. I'm being assaulted by
Michael.
poultry.
Michael.
No.
Michael.
Oh god. It's what happens when the radiation.
Michael.
That chicken's a
What you
mutant.
do to me?
It's a mutant chicken.
Where am I?
It's bad chicken.
Help.
No, you don't deserve it.
Why does he do that? Oh, I didn't have my hand in his bottom. Oh no, I had the hand in the top part. I had it in his head. All right, I fixed them. I'm okay now.
It's unfortunate. Bad chicken.
Okay, I gotta shove some things in his butt again.
That's where he likes to put them.
Well, it's because then it makes him sit normal. Oh no,
Fell out.
we gotta
Put his hands back in his
Yep, I
butt.
gotta hand it in. All right, he's fine now.
Only if there's a...
Why do
I play games to win.
I play games to have fun.
No, I've had fun. Win or lose, but I'm still gonna play to win. I don't think it would be as much fun if people didn't play to win.
To me, I'd rather work with people to accomplish a goal as a group because of friendship.
No,
This
no.
is another thing. Outside of the game, you're like friendship and horses, and then in game, you're like, I have no friends.
We are competing nations. I totally would have destroyed Mitch if your arm in that same game where I was lying about the number of cities. I think both of our armies were comparable, but Mitch's army at the time was completely like he did not have the means to fight back against me, and I was afraid if I went to war with him, you'd go to war with me, and I didn't know how that conflict was gonna work out.
The chicken, it's because his arms are meant to be used like a glove. If I keep him up there and they just kind of flop to the sides, so instead I usually push him up into the part where the hand goes in, so that he sits like kind of like a normal chicken. So that's why he's kind of just chilling up there, like that. Otherwise, if I don't do that, it's literally all over the place, and it's just kind of a mess. So it's just to make it look cleaner.
We're in the big leagues now. Big leagues now. Big leagues now. Big leagues now.
Oh, absolutely. I'd press the big red button.
Well, that game that we were playing too, that I ended up nuking him, was his first Civ 6, and I had played it a bunch of games beforehand. But we were border to border with each other, and I had that was back when the Dolphin was a bigger meme for us, and and there was a book called The Dolphin, and I ended up having this book, and he wanted that book. And so he was sending in armies to the one location I had it, which was like right inside the gate, right inside. I was like tempting him with it by putting it right on the other side of his territory. And so like he started a war, and then he immediately got like dominated at the border, and then because I had like a whole bunch of just crap ready.
Your technology was superior to mine.
Yes.
I still remember a game like after that where we were working together, more or less, where we decided to work together, and I was just conquering all of my neighbors and making other people in the game very nervous.
Yeah, we're supposed to be working together, but it's like
Still didn't
during
trust me.
World War II, and like somebody like says they're an ally of Nazi, and then they're like Nazis start doing stuff. They're like, ha 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 ha, yeah, they're my friends.
It's like, why are you destroying that nation? Because they're not one of us. That's why. They are free game. I was planning on to attack John in that game. We never got that far.
I'm trying to retime these so that it just fits with the audio.
Civ is fun, but I am much better at 5 than I am at 6.
Because you just spent a ton more time playing that one.
Yeah, that's true.
You could be just as good at 6.
Not unless if your starting city gets put next to an active volcano, it's lost
Well,
pretty
that's
much.
that's not my problem.
Yes, Civ 6 added a lot of very made a lot of very.
And the
odd
active
citizens.
volcano was only if you had that DLC.
Yeah, but you want to have all DLCs.
Well, don't activate that one then, or turn off weather.
Some-
You're like, I don't like this feature. Well, it's optional.
I played
This game has a lot of blood in it. We'll turn off the blood, but I can't. It's part of the game.
It is. If making the game better involves turning off parts of the game, then there's something wrong with the game.
But you're paying for it. It's not the real game. You're adding the content on.
It's part of the game. Like Civ 5 wouldn't be very good without all the DLCs.
Yeah, but you can turn on and off the parts of the DLCs you like.
Not like all of them. I like all of them.
But I'm saying if you have one you don't like.
That's not a thing.
Well, we're talking about a different game, and then you're saying that it's the same with this other one.
I don't know.
Don't do this,
Like, I don't like
Michael. Stop.
I don't like the Goombas.
Your words hurt.
in Mario.
What is this animation about? It's
Horses.
about tractors. It's look here, I can play what I have right now for this.
You were working on this a lot this week.
I worked on a lot Wednesday, and then yesterday was preparation for a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm trying to get ready for in a couple weeks. So I ended up not having much work done on it yet. I didn't work on it at all yesterday. But I did do some work. I did a lot of the lip syncing, and I did the stuff for this one. But though this is what I got right now.
Tomorrow afternoon, I'm gonna make that script. It's not gonna break this time.
Well, Big Mac, we're in the big leagues now.
Yep.
Only cost Apple Bloom's college savings. Wait, what?
Well,
Only cost Apple Bloom's college savings. Wait, what? Let's see what this puppy can do. Big Mac, gas her up.
Yep.
It's time for a test drive.
Then I'm working on the rest of it. I have Eurobeat going for that, but I haven't done the rest of it yet. So it's progress.
I will say, if Gen 5 was animated like this, I would not be disappointed.
What do you mean animated like this?
Like, if it looked like this.
Well, I have like all the lights off, and
I'm saying like one of your videos.
Well,
I'm well aware that this isn't finished yet.
okay, well, yeah, but I've been before. They're like, that hat's not looking right. I'm like, because I started it 10 minutes ago.
No, I was also like, look at that face, and you hadn't even done anything to it. It was just like, that's an adorable face.
Is it rated appropriately? Maybe. Oh wait, I remember the storyboard you made in the Discord. Yeah, for the in the supporter chat, I had posted their petition for Michael to be the sole Gen 5 animator. Michael to be.
The only thing I would change is the cutie mark. Like, that's the only thing that bothered me. But that's a Hasbro executive toy decision, and I think that's why it bothers me.
I like that term.
Yes.
Executive toy decision.
Yeah, it wasn't the decision of the artists or the creators. It was the decision of, yeah, but this is how we got to make the toys, because
that's where they make the money.
Toys. Yeah, they can still make the cheap toy, just don't take it out on the show. Don't hurt the show for the sake of the toy.
No, they will, because that's the point of it, is to make money.
But they can still make the money.
No, but that's not. It's about optimizing and maximizing their money. So the execs aren't going to be like. There's not some exec just sitting in the room being like, "Well, we can't do that because that would ruin the lore." And then they all laugh as they like open their wallets and give the person $100 to shut up.
I'm well aware. Like, that's the thing about Hasbro. That
no, it's about companies.
Some companies actually care about the quality.
It's
of their
about
movies.
public companies.
Like Disney.
Public companies need to show profit. They don't care. They need to show their investors that we did everything possible to milk every dime out of everything that's not a private company. I will trust more, because at least then they're not beholden to what some other group of people.
I really don't
want.
believe Disney's like controlling their movies with the idea of, we gotta not do this because it won't look as good on the toys. I don't think Disney's doing that to their films. I think they.
But Disney isn't about selling toys. Disney's thing is Disney has
nobody sells more toys than Disney.
Yeah, but Disney's thing is their videos are a selling point for them. They have an entire platform to make a good piece of video content, so now you go and subscribe to it. Hasbro doesn't make any money off of the videos themselves. There's no place to go to get this stuff. So after the initial thing of somebody watching it, they have to have something to go off of, and toys are what they do. Hasbro does toys, and then they make other things to sell toys. Disney is a much different company.
Yeah, they actually make quality products.
Have you seen Frozen?
Yeah, there's a soup you can buy of it at the store, which goes back to the point they merchandise more than anyone.
It's frozen soup.
Frozen soup. And they got princess soups. Why don't we have pony soups? Somebody write Hasbro.
Michael. Ow. Ow.
No.
Ow.
How about extra furry?
Ow.
It's like I think she might be covered in fuzz.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Ooh.
No. It's biting. I wish you were a soup. We need pony soup. We got frozen soup. We need pony soup. You don't look at me like that.
I'm not soup.
No.
I'm not soup.
Could be. Hasbro was better at marketing.
Not soup.
Heck, I think they had Paw Patrol soup.
Not soup. Do you want to be soup?
You could be soup.
Do you want to be glue?
Oh no. That's gonna be Hasbro's direction. They're like, so we don't sell. We're a toy company that doesn't sell very many toys for Pony, because it's. Have you been to a toy store lately? There's hardly any Pony toys.
Soup. Soup. If I want soup. I thirst for soup. For apple bloom soup.
Cool. Oh, no.
that was a really bad time to hear cool. Thank you, Nolan. Gifted a tier 3. Nice. Congrats, Stig. Oh, thank you very much. I'm gonna have apple bloom soup. Cool.
Cool. Eat that horse.
Thank you very much. Oh, actually, he was gifted the one from Luna too, so that was pretty nice. Thank you very much. And the big company.
You did.
Yeah, Argo, have you heard about the potato head thing that Hasbro posted? No, I have no idea what you're talking about, actually. Wait, a tier 3 gift? Yeah, I know, that's actually pretty surprising. Like I mentioned before, tier 2 and 3 Twitch subs are going to get early video releases, similar to how Patreon is set up for that, starting like in a couple days. So, yay. There's a special chat for that, early access. We're hoping to... I'm making some pretty big changes to how stream highlights are handled in the next coming weeks, and more info on that later. Unless you're on Patreon, then I put all the info on there in regards, but that will also affect anybody that is on tier 2 or 3. Oh, I just realized this is like locked in.
Well, Big Mac, we're in the big leagues now.
Yep.
Well, Big Mac, we're in the big leagues now.
I gotta undo it, like...
Ow.
That face right here is like, oh, it made me a little bit more neutral. This is like a mood. The face when you there's something that was very important and you forgot about it until that moment, and you are not able to do anything about it.
Wasn't a lot of the wins or less out of that other bottle.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Other comedians. What's it called again? Something Stoke.
Yeah, I can't remember its name either.
Rivers?
No.
I'd have to go over there and look at the bottle.
Look at...
No soup.
No soup.
I don't want
No
soup.
soup.
We need pony soup, guys. Somebody needs to write a Hasbro and let them know they make nothing but horrible decisions. She escapes.
Soup.
Soup is fun food.
Yep.
Big Mac?
She's just right back, dude. She's just like,
Well, Big Mac,
yay.
we're in the big leagues now.
Okay, I think that's fixed.
Any good?
Different. It's a little bit less of it's not as strong of a flavor on this one. I think my favorite is still that big bottle one I get because it has like a musty like wood flavor to it, and I really like that.
It's just that so many of the whiskeys now are all in plastic, and I know you don't like plastic bottles.
Then it also have all the fun. We'll take drunk gifting. Well, I'm glad that you're having a fun Friday.
Fridays are for is fun.
Well, Big Mac, we're in the big leagues now. We're in the big leagues now. We're in the big leagues now. Big league.
Okay, this I need to actually have her mouth closed a bit more. What is causing the mouth? There we go.
We're in the big leagues now.
Okay.
Ow. We're in the big leagues now. We're in the big leagues now.
Yep.
Leagues now.
Yep.
Leagues now.
Okay, I think for the most part or most of the blending is done. So then it's going to be fixing this. Like this part right here, she is not moving at all. So we're going to fix that. And I'm going to do it the super cheap and hasty way that I know how to do, where I'm going to just find somewhere in here that works. And we're going to say, I'm going to say this spot right here. I'm going to grab everything but her head because her head is churned. And actually, her neck is probably done as well. Yeah, I'll just grab it all and not care. And I'm just going to find a spot like that. I'm just going to play head a teeny bit right here. Okay. And I'm then going to move it over here because I want it to be off and take a little longer.
Well, Big.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to put this back here for now. Then I move this to here because this one she starts moving. Okay. Okay, yeah, it is all locked. Oh, now I gotta go. Grab that again. Let's see right here. So, okay, we're gonna grab that again. And now I'm gonna move her head and her neck back. Okay, and then we'll grab everything again. And just, so all I did was instead of, all I need is motion. I don't care what the motion is. I just care that there is some motion. And so the idea behind this is I'm just going to use the motion that already exists. Why put time into adding a whole new motion when just something there is a different position than what it is now? And it just, now she's moving. That's all I cared about. I think I'm going to have her head turn a little bit back this way again, though. A bit more that way. And I'm not worried about... because right now there is the concern with her back hair being kind of in the way in a lot of places, but I consider that my last pass through. I'm not worried about it right now. You're saving for a Go XLR, so I'm not going to do anymore. Oh, that's fine. I actually had looked into getting a Go XLR originally.
I don't know what
and
it
it's
is.
So it's one of the other. I would want. Not
It's a graphics card.
It's probably the word I'm going to use because it feels like it's kind of the word I'm going to use, but it's the tropey streamer audio interface.
No.
Because if you're looking for something that does lots and lots of different things for audio specific, there's other options that are better, but the Go XLR simplifies things, has a great program that's built in to handle a lot of stuff. It's good for streaming, but not much else. So if you're going to do that, it works really good. I originally had thought about getting one. But when I was looking into getting one, they were sold out everywhere. This was earlier on in the pandemic when streaming became a big thing, and it was just sold out. There was nothing to find. But now, because I have two mics that I'm plugging into it, a Go XLR only has the one input, as far as I know, which means I wouldn't be able to do that without a separate interface to then connect into the Go XLR. And it really ended up being that, so the one I have is... like the Zenix 802 or something, has two inputs, and it was like 60 something bucks. It does what I need it to do, but it doesn't have some of the fancier options of the Go XLR that would legitimately be handy. But I originally didn't want to get a Stream Deck, but then like I got that now.
It is fancy.
Because I didn't think there was a need for it. Then I ended up having a need for it. So it's really come in handy to fill that need. But no, so it's just an audio interface type thing. But it has the sliders for it, but it's mainly the program that's built into it is pretty fancy for doing it, the audio balancing.
Now you have that thing.
But I have to use that one because the reason I bought that from Adam was because it has 2 XLR inputs.
Yeah.
And so then it was so that I knew eventually we would have a second mic and then I wouldn't have to worry about it.
And there are 2 mics now.
Uh-huh.
Am I too close or too far? I don't ever know. It's like a constant struggle.
Right there's fine. Well, you move around a lot more. I'm usually...
The chair's here. It doesn't move.
And also I got some other accessories coming for this too. Hopefully that work to improve some of this.
Maybe we should trade chairs. Maybe it would help.
No, that's points.
No, you can have this chair over there. It's fine.
No, I think the Go XLR is nice. I feel that the Go XLR is expensive for what it is. Because I think like the small version is $250 and the large version is $500. Like the Stream Deck, the one reason I like that is being that it has LCD screens and for the utility and everything that comes with it, the average one is like $160, and for what it gives me, that's actually really really good price compared to. But I felt that the Go XLR, I would be paying quite a bit more for some of the features that are there compared to like $60 for this, and then I just use a separate program. I use the V2 tuner or something. It's like a super separate thing within the Streamlabs, Streamlabs and OBS. But the Go XLR would have just touched this signal before going there, which would have been super nice. So it's no longer on my list of things that are needed. I do have to look into more audio options though, because if we get into the podcast in the summer, that's 4 mics, or it's either 2 or 4 mics that we'd have to record separate audio streams for, and it would require a much fancier setup. And I don't understand that fully, and I'm probably going to have to go to like a Guitar Center or something and ask a lot of questions.
Could probably start at least with these mics. We just have to move them.
Well, thank you, Hyrule. Didn't pop up on my feed though. I don't know, that was weird, but thank you very much. Yeah, why didn't that pop up?
That's weird. You gotta scroll up maybe? Or are you all the way
Oh
up?
no, why did it popped up Hyrule saying subscribed again, but it was from, it says an hour ago. Was it really that delayed?
It might be because of his connection. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, hopefully there's not something goofy on that. I hope everything's working fine. And actually, that's a question too. For those that are watching, with the change that I made for streaming at 1080-30 compared to 1080-60, does it help for lag? I dropped it to, it's 1080-30 at 4000, but before it was 1080-60 at 3500. So it's a slightly higher bitrate, but it's at a lower frame. I'm thinking that might make it easier. I'm just not sure if it actually helps or not.
Are you doing the video game streams at that frame rate?
Minecraft, Java, SMP series. Cool. Hopefully that works out well for you. The what one?
Are you doing the video game streams at 30?
No.
You're doing those at 60.
So the 1080p at 30 and 720 at 60, in terms of recommended bitrate, are identical. They recommend 4500 for both. 1080-60, Twitch tops out at 6,000, but 6,000 is legitimately not enough to get a good picture out of 1080-60, no matter what. So the recommendation then is for what I'm going to do is SFM, being that like right now nothing's really moving. So the bit rate, I could be running at 1,000 right now and it would still look fine. As soon as I go to like move something, it's then it would be different. But for gaming, I'm going to do 720-60. So then it's the same bit rate, but I will have a higher frame rate but a lower resolution. So like here's a question. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna run a poll because this is stuff that I'm legitimately curious on. Actually, I can just do it on the on this one.
Poll no more.
No, so we're gonna do a prediction. So, not a prediction. A managed poll. Okay. Hold on. Because this is
Put
actually...
in audio only too, because that's.
Oh yeah, actually, no, that's a good option.
Like I used to watch your streams in audio only a lot of the time. Just being honest.
No, so I'm curious on that. I'm going to go a little longer. Because the reason I'm asking is because having... If it's 1080, but you're watching on a 1080 monitor, it's going to be much smaller. If you're watching in 2K, it's usually even at like... for the size that's there, 1080 is still too much. If you're watching 4K, then yeah, it would probably make a difference. But if most people watch windowed, then 720 is fine because it's shrunk down. And so that's where I'm kind of curious on stuff. Because then I wouldn't mind even streaming this at 720. The only reason I don't really want to is because I still need to use it at 1080 on my monitor, and then it would make this text kind of fuzzy. And for some people, that might be harder to read. Full screen with floating chat? Oh, I've never actually done that.
I would often just turn on your streams and then go play a game while listening to your stream. So that was kind of something I did.
Yeah. And I know that some people do that. Can't handle 1080p. Can it handle 1080p 30 FPS though? Because that's the one thing is before it was 1080p 60 FPS, and that I know could actually be really tough. I do both. I use it on my phone. Sometimes windowed and sometimes full screen. Yeah, I can understand if you're jumping around. It's just kind of what is your preference. I actually watch YouTube. I don't watch anything full screen. I have a 2K monitor, but I always watch things in window because I feel like for how big my monitor is, it's great for things like this because I have lots of the interface, but I'm still running in a smaller window. It might be because of SFM that I've gotten just used to running in everything in a smaller view center. Like that, and that's why I kind of prefer that. But also, it's just that I don't want to have my eyes needing to jump around the screen. If it's in a smaller thing, like about this size on YouTube, I can absorb everything that's on the screen without moving my eyes much. But if it's full screen, then I'm having to dart all over the place. And so if I'm even just watching YouTube, I tend to just watch it in this smaller window.
I'm not sure what resolution I'm watching this stream in, to be honest. It seems pretty clear.
And Jinxie, I can understand that too. I actually do that sometimes with Blur to Blah, who's on here a lot. I watch him stream, and Midnight Premiere. Sometimes I don't have my second monitor running, and if I don't, I'll just put them in the background because sometimes it's just fun listening to them, and it's supporting them by giving a viewer too. And then every now and then I pop back in to get my free channel points because I want to. Mid-Prim has an Art Slave for a lot of points, and I need to build more points for Art Slave.
When you guys experience lag, you guys just check your internet connection. If I start experiencing lag, somebody needs to call a hospital for either me or him. So,
well, Big Mac, we're in the big leagues
different.
now. Big leagues now.
Yes. You just start stuttering. Stuttering.
Alright, what do we got here? Small window of chat. Okay, that's what I was expecting. I was actually expecting more people to be audio only, though.
I did it lots of times.
But no, actually, that breakdown was very close to what I was kind of thinking. So I think I'll stick with what I'm doing on that. So okay, but thanks for the input. Because if I were to do 720 30 FPS, I could drop the bitrate. I could either drop the bitrate more or keep it where it was and just have better quality video. That's where 720p is better for faster paced video games. So I will be trying that this stream. Last Sunday's stream, that reason that quality was pretty bad was because for some reason my streaming software defaulted to ultra fast, and ultra fast is a super bad way to encode. I don't know why I jumped to that. Very fast is usually the best you want to do, which is what I'm running right now, which normally I would run it maybe at fast because it's a dedicated PC, but because I have it recording the stream through two different softwares and streaming, so it's 3 different video streams, my poor CPU, even though 2 of them are NVENC, would just cry. I actually tried to get a 3060 or 3060 Ti when Best Buy dropped yesterday, but I didn't have any luck. I want to get a 3060 Ti because I want to swap out the 1080 Ti for that. It'll have better RTX voice use and way better NVENC, where I could drop the bit rate by about 20% on the recordings and still get the same quality. So I do want to. That's why I'm looking to invest in that.
Back when I lived in a house, I would just turn your streams on in the afternoons because I would normally be cooking supper in the kitchen. I would just turn it on, turn the volume way up, and then just listen to it from the kitchen.
See, I used to.
That's
You
when I
used to
lived
be
in a
at all
house.
the streams all the time, and then you just stopped showing up.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
when are you going to come back to the streams, Michael?
I come back in just to post derpies, and then I disappear again.
Yeah, I guess. The audio only people wouldn't vote. Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's probably a good point. Honest, you're a good podcast to listen to with the mega benefit of watching SFM content too. Listen, it's actually for that reason that there was two main reasons that we wanted to do a podcast this summer, or to start one. One being exactly what you said. I think most people just are provided entertainment from the audio portions. And two, because of the conversations we had when we were drinking, mainly there was a public spot, and somebody mentioned there when we were having a conversation about Godzilla writing a book, and they were asking if we do a podcast because we were being very entertaining. And because of that, it was those things together that we were like, well, why don't we? So the idea is to make it the same as this, but where the audio and the video in terms of importance are swapped. So in terms of like the stream, the video is the more important part. I mean, obviously there's times like this where I'm just talking, but the video is the more important part. In there, we are going to do video, but we're going to make it where the audio is the primary part, and to where you don't need to have the video, but it's a nice addition too. But we that'll still be a couple months before we get into that. Waiting for a friend to come back from basic training, and then we're going to be talking it over, doing some pilots. So if you're a patron or a Twitch subscriber, when those come about, you will get access to our pilot, to then get your input as to if things are going the way that we want them to. And if things go well, then we will go forward with it. But as of right now, it's still early summer is when we're hoping to have it going.
There seems to be a bug.
Argo's
going
voice is
around.
like so perfect for a podcast. Do know that is because I've been doing this for years. Like I have podcast mode, I guess you call it, or streamer mode, where I talk very different when I'm in front of a mic. And that's actually helped me with work though, because I'll do a lot of presentations and stuff, and I go into streamer mode, and people are much more entertained by it because I like the way I will talk. But I was in a meeting at work one time, and so one of my old jobs, I didn't have a desk. I just was in a big open room, and they had some terminals I could plug into with my work laptop. And so for like a year, I didn't have a desk. I had a table. It was by a wall, ceiling to floor window that went right to the outside, where like in the spring there was a bunch of baby ducks everywhere. I didn't complain. It was actually really nice. But I was doing some training sessions, and I went into streamer mode while I was doing this, and after I was done, they're like, one of the people was like, "Do you know how loud you get?" And I'm like, "I come to post derpy, and now I must go."
That man, he's amazing.
No, so they were saying they're like, "Do you know how loud you got?" And I kind of thought about it. I'm like, I'm used to wearing headphones, and so that's the problem of even when I take my headphones out, I'm kind of like, wow, I am kind of loud. You cover up your ears, you don't hear
Tell
yourself
me
as much.
about it.
And that's what I did. Is I had noise canceling headphones in, and so I went into streamer mode, and I do it because, for two reasons. If you're talking in a meeting or you're talking with other groups of people, and especially in a training situation, and you are being dull and boring, nobody's going to want to listen to you. And if you talk with authority and conviction, people just like you more, I guess. And so I always try to talk in such a way that I feel that I sound important. I speak as though I'm the most important person in the room at that time, because then when you do talk, people listen. And so it's not about like, look at me, I'm cool. People listen to you when you speak like that.
Yeah.
And so I've just gotten better about it over the years.
It's really cool, except when somebody really has to use the restroom.
Oh, I know. Okay, so there's that thing too. So
it's like,
I'm really, really big on, if you have something to say or you need to do something, just do it. When the people that try to show you or try to convey something to you physically, so that without words, that they can try to get you to bring up something about something. That bugs me. It's like, if you have something to say or you need to do something, just say it. Like, don't try to go around the topic. It's like when people say, "Oh wow," and then like they're not talking. They're just like, "Oh wow, huh, whoa." Like, nobody does that by themselves. You don't do that by yourself in the corner watching TV. No. But if you're near somebody, you do it because you want the person to say, "Huh, what are you talking about? What's so funny?" That bugs me when people do that. If something is funny, then you go, "Hey, you want to see something funny?" And then I have no problem with it. And so when people do that and they like do the little like jitter thing, like when you go to the bathroom to like be polite, I'm like, just tell me you need to go take a piss. Like, because if you do that and I'm there, I'm going to do everything I can to make you just sit there.
So you're definitely torturing
I will
me.
extend and I will elaborate longer because it is a pet peeve. I don't know why, but it
Why
bugs
do you
me.
want people to suffer?
I don't want people to suffer. I want people to tell me if they need to do something.
It's like, due to my pet peeve, I am gonna make you shit yourself. You're a bad person.
Well, okay. If they're like, "Hey, I gotta go use the bathroom," I'm not gonna hold their hand and be like, "No." You're gonna stand
But
right
you-
here. I'm gonna finish my story.
See it in their eyes as they're just screaming as you're finishing your story.
No, I can understand there are certain times where you'll be like, when you will laugh out loud or say "huh" because something was like funny enough or something, but there is definitely those times where you can tell that somebody is doing it for the sole purpose of getting somebody to bring attention to them, and I don't like that. It's not against that person. I mean, for some people, it's that they're so introverted that them bringing up something to another person is just something they have the inability or the difficulty in doing. I understand that fully, but it doesn't mean that I have to acknowledge it.
It's interesting. Huh. You know. Huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what one of my pet peeves is?
Does it have the word derpy in there?
No.
No.
Like, this is a legitimate pet peeve of mine.
What is it?
When people clap in movie theaters.
Oh, I remember you bringing that one
Yeah,
up.
I can't stand it. It's like, who are you clapping for?
I can understand.
They're not there. They cannot hear you.
At a midnight release where you get a bunch of people that are ultra fans in one room together, yeah, I can understand it. Any other situation,
The horses can't hear you.
But you're not clapping for that. Some people, when you're in a group with a bunch of other people, you're sharing the experience with others. Clapping is no different to me than of laughing out loud with the group or crying with the group. It is you are celebrating its existence at the end.
I find
But
it
if you are the solo person that stands up and like was like, yeah,
like, if the director is in the audience, fine. But if he's not, then you're not clapping for
clapping
anybody.
at the end of a flight.
That doesn't bother me as much because I think the pilot probably appreciates it.
Well, that one I don't really understand as much because it's like I don't clap at an Uber driver when I'm leaving. Like,
Maybe you should. Maybe you would appreciate it. It makes more sense than clapping in a theater.
no, I'm pretty sure the guy's gonna look at you really weird.
He is, but at least he's there to appreciate it one way or the other.
But if you're on a plane, at least there's other people to celebrate with you. If you're the only person on an Uber and you're I'm just imagining this play out when the guy's calling the police.
If it's the middle of a storm and a pilot lands when things are pretty nasty and it's clear,
it's bad weather, and
I will
then
give a clap to the pilot.
If it was horrible turbulence or there was something in the flight that or like that one where the engine blew up.
Yeah, clap for that.
Well,
pilot.
then hell yeah. But if it's just a guy that like literally just put it on autopilot and then pulled out his Sudoku book while flying, like no, I'm not gonna clap for him.
He still has to land the plane.
Am I the only one who
That's
talks
not
himself
automatic.
about the stuff that I'm watching? I do talk to myself actually quite a bit, but not when I'm watching stuff. If I'm actually working on something, I always see the brain as having like an input and an output stream. And so, like, when you have your voices in your head, sometimes they're just conflicting. But if I externalize something and then it comes back in through my ear, it feels like it's coming back into my brain in a different place. And it can help me figure things out. And so I will sometimes, if I'm working on something, whisper to myself of, like, through the issue. Because it's like, when it's in your brain, it's like, you're not thinking of it in a sequential direction. You're thinking of it all as one big mush. It's so even though you're like saying it in your head and you have your internal monologue, which apparently some people don't have, which is kind of goofy. But it's one big ball of mush, no matter how you think about it. When you say it out loud, you're taking that mush and you're stringing it out, and then you're putting it back in order. And sometimes that really helps. So I do talk to myself like that. But in a movie, no. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. It's just not something I do. Those people are called NPC, sure. So basically, the celebrating party needs to be physically there, but clapping with others to celebrate something awesome together is bad. That's in a reading from Michael. Yeah, we don't.
Clapping generally says you're clapping to.
Where is that?
Basically, like, good job. That's a good job you did. But if there's nobody up there to be like to accept your appreciation, then you're clapping for nobody.
I found this, Michael. Remember? Did you see this?
Yes.
This was the embodiment of Michael.
Well,
Sometimes I don't realize an event was traumatic until I tell it as a funny story and notice everyone staring at me weird.
Yes, that is.
That's exactly Michael.
I think the stories I tell are hilarious, but then people look at me like, "What is happening?"
You want to hear that one story where we ran over a deer, and then like the whole story ends up being that they just hit the deer, and like that was it. And he was talking about like it being funny. I'm like, you murdered an animal. He's like, it was funny at the time.
I do have a funny story about hitting a deer, though.
I talk to myself a lot, especially when I'm drawing or animating. Yeah, that's exactly the time when you're trying to be creative and you work through a problem. Talking to yourself is awesome. I 100% agree with doing that. Or I can't remember if I asked you this, but if you could, would you go to Gundam Dock Yokohama? Is that the one in Japan that has the giant Gundam?
That would be cool, kind of. I don't think I'd go to Japan.
The thing is I don't think I would go to Japan just for that, but there is a ton of cool stuff that I do want to go to Japan for. It's just nothing we haven't. I do want to go there at some point. My first goal, other than like traveling for pony conventions, is I want to go to Washington D.C. at some point once things open up a bit more, and then I do want to go to Japan. At some
I would kind of
point
want to
as
go
well.
to New Zealand before I would go to Japan.
I would probably want to go to Japan only because
like which one
there's
first?
so. I would want to go to Japan first.
Really? Okay.
There's just so much you can see there within a small area. And you're probably saying New Zealand because of all the hills and the pretty
I'm
areas.
saying New Zealand because it's been my experience that I have a lot more fun when there's not a language barrier.
Oh, well, Japan, though, there's a language barrier if you go off the beaten path.
But that's where the most fun is. Like, you can really enjoy the culture of a place off the beaten path, but if you don't speak the language, you're not going to enjoy it.
But most of the experiences there, though, if you kind of, I don't know, I think, thank you, Nolan, and hello, Mitch.
Like, I went off the beaten path in Italy, and it was frustrating, to say the least. I have a new appreciation for foreigners who don't speak the language in this country, because it's not easy, and it's frustrating, and people aren't going to like you.
And Mitch, you want to go back to DC again, want to walk the National Mall again? Well, I do want to go there whenever things open up again, but not in the winter. So I don't know if it'll be this summer, maybe the next summer. And I'll let you know when we're going again, if you want to potentially go with, because I've never been there. And I think that I like the ability to go somewhere where you can see a lot within a small area, because I don't like the need for travel. Having the option for being able to go to one spot and see a lot of stuff, that I think is be much more interesting. I almost had the opportunity to go to. I was in New York City for work one time, but I was on the opposite side of the island, like the east side of New York, Long Island. But because of Cider Fest, I had to leave early, and so while I had the opportunity to go into New York City itself proper, I couldn't because I had to leave early. I had to take a flight one day earlier so that I could get to Cider Fest in time. So I never got to see that. But like New York City would be interesting because a lot of stuff in a small area. Not so much though. I don't think there's much in New York City. Japan has so many historical areas and like stores, and it is just being there is a whole different experience.
I did enjoy the heck out of Venice in Italy. Venice is nice. If you speak English, you'll do fine in Venice if you ever go to Italy. You go into the countryside, though, you're going to have a hard time.
Lots of, I want to Africa. Well, I'm pretty sure that there's a missing word in there. But no, I think the only reason I think Africa kind of interests me too is that some of the larger areas, like the metropolitan areas, are... Because, like, from an American standpoint, our usual idea is that Africa is, like, indigenous, when that's not true. But that's our mentality. And I want to go there to break that barrier. Even though I know it's not true, it's sometimes hard to unthink it. And so it would be neat. But I
have a friend who moved to South Africa.
But Japan I want to go to. I want to go to England. Or some of the countries out in I want to get out of the United States at some point because I've seen.
Have you never been?
No, I have been to like California. I've been to both coasts, north and south. I've been to most states, so I've seen almost everything the United States can give me, and so I do want to see something else.
Or would you like to come?
South Korea is freaking amazing. South Korea might be interesting too. Yeah.
England's nice. England's real nice.
Well, Big Mac.
And I have a friend there, so it makes it even nicer.
Mac.
I would say if you get the opportunity and you speak the language, which is kind of important, when you're visiting another country, get out of like the touristy areas, because then that's where you actually get to experience the day-to-day culture.
Yeah, take Michael's advice and go hitchhiking in Italy.
I did. I totally hitchhiked in Italy.
By choice or?
More or less, kind of.
No. I take that as Michael saying I fucked up.
The story basically goes that I was trying to get to... I was there for work, and I was given an extra day just to kind of tour Venice, which I did, which was very nice.
No, you got some really cool pictures. It looked really pretty.
Venice is a wonderful city.
And it's so different.
And you think that you're sitting on the Grand Canal, and they got all these restaurants with wine and pizza and everything else, and gelato on the streets, and you think it's going to be expensive, but no. Like, I sat down, got a liter of wine and a full pizza all to myself, and I'm thinking...
You bought a liter of wine?
Yes. That's how they served it, was in the liters.
I'm guessing it was also really cheap for what it was.
No, that's just...
Did they speak English?
Yeah. Like, my waiter spoke like 5 languages. I heard him go from one language to the other, and I'm like, this guy should be like a like, these people are amazing.
Linguini?
Linguistics. Like, his linguistics were
Would you like some linguini and just start shaving and
like,
stuff?
This guy came over to me, asked me what I wanted in English, then he went over to another customer, spoke to him in Dutch, and then in Italian, and then in German.
We're used to America where everybody expects English, but out there, that's probably normal.
Especially in a place like Venice, where they're getting tourists from all over.
Did you give them a good tip?
Oh, yeah. Mainly after I found out...
Wait, do they tip there?
You don't have to. I did ask about that.
Yeah, because that can, in some places, like in Japan, you don't tip.
You don't tip in Japan. Like in Italy, you can. It's not expected. Americans do it. Basically, they like, oh, it's an American. He might tip.
American, you are supplementing their income. In other countries, you are paying somebody for to state that they did a great job.
Like, I hope that guy's making a decent wage because he deserves it. Like, up and down, being able to speak as many languages as he did. But and he spoke them all fluently.
Did it inspire you to learn another language?
I need to learn Italian. I honestly do, because I'm going back as soon as this whole pandemic thing's over. They've already told me that. Yeah, I'm sitting in the Grand Canal of Venice, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be like an $80 meal, is what's in my head. It's like, but whatever, I'm in Venice.
Oh yeah, enjoy the meals. You're never going to get food like that again.
So I got the whole pizza, I got the liter of wine, I'm drinking it, and eating the pizza. I'm like, okay, what's the bill? And he's like, I put it together, it was in euros, but it came out to like $25.
For an amazing pizza.
For an amazing pizza on the Grand Canal in Venice. And I'm just like, holy crap! The economy over here is completely different, is what it is.
No, it's that's the way it is there. Like, you're thinking about fancy pizza and fancy wine, but if all that ingredients and all the wine is made right there, it's cheap. And it's all over the place.
I'm in the middle of one of the most famous cities in the world, Venice, Italy. And it's just like, yeah, $25. And it's just like, I would pay more than this at a freaking just random American restaurant for this. Like,
well, can you Uber Eats from here?
Yeah, let me see if I can like get an Uber driver and drive across the Atlantic.
Well, I don't know. It might be $80 then.
It might be $80 then. But no, Venice was a wonderful city, a beautiful city. I was kind of sad when I heard it got flooded not long ago.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they've gotten over that now.
Oh yeah,
they've gotten better.
I hope so. There's some things going on with that, but that the people that I work with who live in Italy complain about to me. But
I had when I worked in medical, we dealt with a lot of people in Italy. Okay, dealt with wasn't the right word.
Worked with.
They were definitely a different culture, but they were very fun. I did enjoy the work we did with them. And we brought in everybody from across internationally to our building in Minnesota one weekend. So we had somebody from Germany, somebody from Britain, somebody from Italy, Canada, so I think China as well, and we had them all in one time. So that was really cool because you got a ton of cultures at one point. And like the German guy, he looked like he was gonna be like Russian soul like intelligence. He almost spoke more Russian, like he was Russian than German, but he had like a scar on his eye that went like down his eye, and like he had to slightly close. He looked like a Bond villain.
It's like I don't want to.
And then he had the strong accents too. So like he was like the trope Bond villain, but he was a super nice guy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And he had like this super German name. Like it was where like when you see like a movie and you're like, yeah, that guy's a spy. Like that guy's the bad guy the whole movie because it's just like has that sly look. That was that guy. That was him, like, to a T. But then you talk to him, he'd be, like, super chill. So it was fine. I mean, yeah, he probably then, like, burned down a country or something afterwards.
But, no, as far as hitchhiking across Italy, basically the story went.
Gonna need some Italian impressions later. Oh, okay.
No. That sounds like a bad idea. I'll just do Mario. But, basically, I had to get to a hotel. And it was a hotel out in the middle of nowhere. In like the countryside of Italy. So I get on a train which takes me to the town, which that went fine, because the people around Venice that I got on the train, there's a lot of English speaking individuals around that area. But when I got off the train, now I'm in the countryside and there's fewer English speaking individuals. So I get off the train and I'm trying to figure out the best way to get to this hotel. So I go into a bus station and ask if there's a bus heading in the direction of where my hotel is. And I fumble back and forth because I don't speak the language and they don't speak English. But
I would think the train station would have some people. But again, that's me speaking from an English standpoint of like everybody should speak English, even in their country.
The train station did, but the bus station did not.
Okay. That makes sense.
I go to the bus station and I fumble back and forth, and eventually they kind of understand where I'm trying to go after I show them a map on my phone and I point to it, and they basically go,
how weird of an experience is that where you're like, ooh,
pretty much. That's what it was. And me trying to use Google Translate to figure out what they were talking, which wasn't working at all. Don't rely on Google Translate for something like that.
It's in a pinch, but it's not going to tell you much otherwise. But you're probably not the first person to try it.
So I get on this bus, and I look at my Google Maps, and
you're not even 100% sure.
I'm not even 100% sure if I'm going the right direction. I get on this bus, I pay for the bus, and I'm looking at Google Maps, and it's taking me in the right direction. I'm like, yes! And then it keeps going past my location, and it keeps going, and keeps going, and keeps going, and the bus finally stops, and I immediately get off of it, and I think, okay, it's a bit of a walk back, and it was a heck of a walk back to the hotel. But I'm like, what choice do I have? So I'm dragging my bag behind me. I walk through this entire town in Italy, which was a beautiful town, by the way.
Well, yeah, that's got to be like nothing you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, the architecture's completely different.
Well, was it an actual town or was it country?
It was a town. It was like
right on the edge of the town.
It was a small town, like a small Italian town. It had sidewalks until I got to a certain that was
that definitely tells us what level of town this was. They had sidewalks.
They did have sidewalks.
There wasn't shit-filled cow barns.
But I eventually got to a point where I walked out of the town, and at this point I'm just walking alongside the road on grass, and I'm just carrying my suitcase. And I didn't exactly hitchhike, but eventually a car pulled over and was like, they were speaking Italian, and I just waved at them like, I don't speak Italian.
How did you say that? Did you say I don't speak Italian?
I was like,
Did you say that? Please say you didn't.
No,
say
I just
that.
said I only speak English. Is all I said to him.
Okay, but if you say that in English.
Yeah, but luckily the guy spoke English.
Oh, okay.
So his wife didn't. He was in the car with his wife. His wife didn't speak English, but he did. And so I'm like, oh. He's like, do you need a ride? I'm like, not really. He's like, I insist. So I got in the car.
So this random guy,
Yeah.
without you asking for assistance, stopped and asked if you needed assistance, and then demanded he would provide assistance.
He was being
in a nice way. But
He was trying to be nice. So he takes me to the hotel, and I offer to pay him like €10. He refuses.
Because that's the American standpoint of like, this person was really nice, so he demands monetary compensation.
He refused to take it.
Was he heading that direction?
No, he turned around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
He turned around, and it wasn't that far. Like I was trying to walk to it.
But still, it's time.
But it's still his time, yeah. But no, it was super nice. So I didn't exactly hitchhike, but I did get in a stranger's car, and he did take me to where I needed to go. So that was my time in Italy. It was fun. That's nothing like the time in Chicago where I got showed around by a homeless man after I paid him $20. That's a fun story.
Okay, yeah, well, that sounds a little bit more rated R, so we're gonna pass on that one because we're talking America here. I'm gonna catch up. I worked with a guy at Walmart once, and he spoke 7 different languages. He was from Africa. It was kind of cool, the stories he told. Great guy. Awful work ethic, though. Well, and sometimes it's not even that it's their fault. It's just that's the work ethic from where they were. And I've seen some other people that had like crazy work ethics from another country. That's one thing right now is with my line of work, I deal with nobody from other countries. It's basically illegal for me to work with other people from other countries. So I don't have that anymore, which I kind of miss. Instead, it's a lot of like an older group. So it feels a little bit washed. But yeah, it is nice seeing. It's really fun to have a person from another culture that, especially from an American standpoint, where we're so locked into the way that we do things, and we have our walls that we put up, and being able to experience the way that other people see life or experience life, and to be open about it is very eye-opening, quite a bit. I wouldn't mind heading over to Germany as well. I think John would as well. John's big on the German thing. That was one thing where my boss and a guy that I basically treated as my boss in one of my previous jobs they went to Germany and Italy and Europe because like the same people that came here, they went there to try to promote some stuff that was going on. And I really wish I would have went with on that because it sounded like a really fun trip. Like they got a ticket on the Autobahn for going too slow, I think it was. Like,
there's a speed limit on the Autobahn. That's like the big thing about the Autobahn.
No, there is no speed limit.
Yeah.
But they were going too slow in the not slow lane. Like they were in the left lane and they were doing some stupid stuff. Anyway, it ended up being funny, the whole story. But anyway, but yeah, I really wish I would have went with on there, but that would be fun. Hello, what are we doing today, Paddox? Hello, Paddox. Actually, I don't know if I've seen your name on here. Welcome. And if I'm wrong on that, then I'm sorry. A lot of names to remember. Working on tractors. Apple Bloom loses her college savings, and then she gets in a tractor and rides off into the sunset. I'm still working on that part. Fun. But this is all you need to know.
For a test drive.
That's all you need. But getting there.
This is Gen 5.
I'm guessing Applejack is saying, what is that supposed to be? Hello, Warrior Fox. It is. Sorry, we do. When we get caught up in conversations, it's fun. I really enjoy like those conversation stuff. So I don't mind doing that. Anyways, no, like this and this is the other part you need here.
Only cost Apple builds college savings. Wait, what?
It's all 15 AI that did this. Mike, I want that story. It can be a tier 3 benefit.
With the homeless man story?
I've been trying to figure out in terms of Patreon and Twitch subscribers, like the supporter chat of like the behind the scenes stuff, not behind the scenes stuff, but just extra content, which is normally like if I just want to make something that has nothing to do with animation, nothing to do with anything, and I just want to record it and make it cheap and just put it out there. I want to like, what can I do for that? I did the unboxing of my Rocinante, like with the metal plates that are here and ship that's up there. I still have to put these up.
I'm just imagining you keep them there and then you just stroke them gently from time to time.
They're super cold. Like touch them.
Yeah, they're a little cold.
They suck your soul from your body. So I do some stuff like that, and I have another one coming out soon. But I want to think of more stuff like that, so we can have Michael story time sometimes, where Michael just like sits into a camera and then depresses everybody.
No, my stories are fun.
There's a speed limit, minimum speed limit. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's where they hit. We love the explanation, but he wasn't exactly awful work ethic. He just stopped working. He would stop in the middle of stocking and just go shopping for himself, not in an allotted break. The only time I understand was when he went to pray because I believe he was Muslim. Not 100% sure. Okay, no, I can understand, but again, that was probably just the mentality where he is taking the work ethic from where he was, and just thinking that we're the same. Doesn't mean he was wrong on that. He doesn't know that that in America here, we demand that you work to the bone, and if you're crying during the work hours, you're fired.
Yeah, I only got to read my pony book for like 3 hours today. It was awful.
I actually worked a lot of today. No, there was
slow.
Like there was one job I had where like I was at that time I was prone to stomach aches, and so I'd use like a mint bubble gum because a suck on a mint because the mint would help with stomach aches, and I had them tell me that like you can't do that anymore, and I'm like,
Really?
but it's like they're like, do you have a doctor's note?
That's awful.
And
the manager was awful.
And it was Walmart, but it was like it you know they're pushing it. I'm like, but I'm like, well, because I get stomach aches and this helps, and like, well, it's unprofessional. Like, it's Walmart. We're not it's Walmart. I'm like, where's the word professional at all at Walmart?
It does kind of feel like in this country, the less you get paid, the more it's demanded from you.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, which is stupid.
It is.
Because it feels, it feels like the lower you're paid, the more they expect you to be an ingrat, and that you're unable to manage your own life. Or something, and that they have to be like authoritative. The worst jobs I ever had were the lowest paying jobs I ever had, not because of the low pay, but because people were being assholes and expecting things of you that were beyond your capabilities, or if you showed competence in a job that paid very little, they abused the crap out of it. If like I had a job when I worked at McDonald's, I was there 2.5 years, and I got to a point where they were canceling all of my vacations. I was a crew trainer, and I wasn't being paid much more than anybody else. But because I was competent, they would constantly cancel my vacations to cover other people's because they would fire other people for being stupid. And eventually I walked out.
No, I remember my previous job. I would take vacations. If I had vacation time, I would take a vacation, and I would tell them that this is when I'm taking my vacation. And they sometimes they'd be like, "Well, he's taking his vacation." I'm like, "Oh no, you don't understand. I'm letting you know. I have vacation time. This is when I'm taking my vacation." Like, at this point in my life, if I was working at McDonald's for whatever reason, and mint helped with a stomach ache, and they told me to stop doing it, like, that's a very funny joke you're telling. I'm not gonna know.
Mm-hmm. The day I walked out was they canceled my vacation, and then they charged me $1.20 or something because my till was short.
Yeah.
And that was not long after they had a situation where a guy would cover your break and he would steal $20 from your till.
Yeah.
And they were charging anything over like 50 cents, and they would charge your till on it. Which, you know what? If somebody is stealing, sure. But the fact that they were nitpicking every single penny, on somebody that they trusted, and they were canceling the vacation on because they trusted enough and saw us competent, then told me that you didn't trust me and you were taking advantage of it. And so I told them that day, I'm not coming in tomorrow. And they're like, well, you do know that could hurt your work record. And I'm like, it's McDonald's. I don't care. I legitimately don't care. I was getting a job as a webmaster at my high school, and I was planning to still work there. But I got to the point of like, why am I doing that? That job pays more, and I can do it for. I'm getting the same amount of money for less hours, and I'm doing it during school hours. I'm done. I walked out. I finished my shift, even though I told them 3 hours before the end of my shift I was going to walk out, or I wasn't coming back. And the owner of the building called me the next day when they were back from vacation and was like, well, I heard that one of our best employees was not going to come back to work, and I wanted to figure out if there's anything we can fix. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Now you're going to be all nicey to try to keep me to come. Nope.
No, it's pretty much, my thought is, if you have a job and you're doing that job, then, and you're doing it to the best of your ability. Like, if you have work to do and you're not doing it, then that's a problem. But if you have work to do and you're doing it, everything else is irrelevant. Short of, like, if you showed up to work without pants, that could be a problem. But everything else, like, some places are just, I wouldn't even say places, some people are crazy. Because I know there's a lot of, like, managers and, like, places like Walmart and McDonald's who kind of just, they just live on the power trip of having control over people. I
was at Walmart one time, and I joked. I made a joke during one of the meetings. Cool. And thank you, Nolan, for another wanting control. All right, congrats to Paddocks there. I'll get to some of your comment. I'll catch up in chat in a second here. But no, it was a larger meeting, and it probably wasn't the best in taste comment. I can't even remember what it was, but it was a joke at the potential expense of the manager. But it made everybody laugh, and the way I was in the mentality of you get everybody to laugh, nobody thinks it's serious. They called me to the office later in the day, and they sat me down, and we're talking about how inappropriate I was, and how I'm lucky that I even still have my job because I made fun of the manager. Oof. And it's like, that felt like a power trip of like, I'm in control here. You don't make fun of me. And like,
it's a bit of a power trip, yeah.
Oh, no, so I now I'm at a position where, like, my boss was like, I want to build a computer, and I don't know how to do that. Could you help me? And so I've like been giving you information on it. And he's a super chill dude. Probably one of the coolest guys I've ever known, boss or not. And but it's also in an industry that is much different from that. It's not like a non-skilled labor. Everybody there is brilliant, and I feel insignificant compared to some of the people I work with. Like just today, they had Engineers Week today, and so I got to watch a bunch of presentations where they were talking about all their work about building the Gateway probe that's going around the moon.
Fun.
And like all these missions where they're building thrust probes to send up to the moon, and their missions to Mars and stuff. And it's like, it was just like, yeah, you make me feel useless here.
Dude, no, your spreadsheets are very important.
My spreadsheets, I spent minutes on my spreadsheets. But it was super cool. That was actually really cool.
I am getting to repair equipment that's used by NASA. So maybe some small part of something I did help with one of those missions.
I am considered under Space Division. So technically, I am a part of the program, but I'm not.
But my job is pretty much, you're fixing the remote system for the large crawlers that move the rockets for the Mars mission. Huzzah! And after that, we have a machine for a leaf cleaner. That's pretty much where my job varies.
Yeah, the other stuff that I actually deal with on a more day-to-day basis is the stuff that I'm not so proud of. But it's, I like what the company does from the larger...
To be fair, the leaf blower people pay quicker.
Let me catch up here. Paddocks, what do you guys think about G5? Let me catch up in the rest of the chat, because that's something we've actually covered, I think, 3 times now today. It's on everybody's mind, so I understand.
That's it.
The art looks great. I'm excited that it looks good, and I'm looking forward to it. But as of right now, there's so little information that's out that I prefer to just go off of that and nothing else. Of We'll see what happens. I don't like to make too many assumptions on stuff. Thank you, Sir Edward. I'm just popping in again. Well, hope your homework went well. I have a derp, and now I shall go do homework again. Well, good luck. Yeah, and Sir Michael just yelled that he appreciates the derp, even though he couldn't see it. It's in his head. Oh boy, I have opinions. Everybody does right now, but it's nice because it's reinvigorating the fandom a little bit, which is, I think it was needed because it was really on a dry spell, and I think there was a lot of people's. Yeah, it was good. It was needed. I feel planes now, and I get treated better than Walmart. My job is mega risky. Yeah, it's. You're expected. There's so much expected of you for being paid crap. I used to work in OS&D in freight, and even then, I was paid half of what I make now, and my job was much more stressful. Had almost no rewarding feeling at the end of the day, and I just hated it. I enjoyed the people I worked with. That was the best part of the job, but I hated everything about the job. So yeah, I find that the lower paying the job, or even if those jobs themselves paid more, it still wouldn't be worth it because it's not the amount of money you're making from it. It's just the expectations they're putting on you for being somebody that is just there to readjust items on a shelf and to do the menial labor stuff, but they expect you to be some super professional person, but they're going to pay you absolute butt to do it. It just doesn't make any sense. And I think that's why I always find it important if working in fast food or retail or both is important in your life because you realize how much crap those people have to deal with.
Absolutely.
It's I have ultra patience for fast food and I have ultra patience for people in retail because I know they're being paid super low amounts of money and they have a high expectation and
they probably got a manager who's on a bit of a
so they have to deal with so much crap.
Yeah.
So if they are looking like they're impatient and they don't care, it's because they're impatient and they don't care. And they have really every right to, because I was in a position where seeing why they feel that way. And that's why I just don't eat fast food that much anymore. I don't like supporting that type of industry where people are treated like that.
I mean, if you do eat fast food, give them all the patience in the world.
Yeah. And if things go wrong, it happens. There's a lot of stress in them to do a lot of things at once. Give them the time they need, and they'll give you what you're looking for. So far, I like what we have, but it's a big change. So I understand people are not sure, but I'm giving it a chance. No, actually, for the most part, Paddocks, I've been seeing that most people are positive. Actually, most of the comments I've seen across everything have been people saying this is really cool. Like, they could have went any direction with this. Kind of sad it's not 2D. That's been the most thing. But if it was going to be 3D, this looks like a good 3D. The characters actually feel like they should.
Yeah,
like you would expect.
They look good. My favorite part of the whole thing is everybody just sees the characters and has that one meme where it's like, I've just met this character or whatever, but if anything happens to it, I will kill everyone in this room and then myself. I love that. And
thanks for the follow, Cube.
Protect those horses.
Oh, they wonder why they can't keep good workers. No, that's just well, most of those industries are built on high turnaround. Like, I've been at my current job now for a year and a half, almost 2 years. In McDonald's, that means that you've been there a long time. Most of the people I work with, it's weird to run into somebody at my job that has not been there at least 10 years. So it's a completely different thing where I'm at a place now where people are expected to be there for their life. And
a career as opposed to a job.
Yeah, but all the places I've been to beforehand where if you've been there for more than a year, that's weird. So
how long did you work at McDonald's?
2.5 years.
I worked 3 years.
Yeah, I was there 2.5 years. I don't really count when I did Webmaster. I was at Walmart for 5 months, but it was only because I was there until the end of Christmas season.
I was at Kroger's for 6, and I only quit because I couldn't afford rent, so I had to move back in with my parents.
Well, that's the thing is I think a lot of people go to those jobs, but then they just get comfortable being there. Like, I was comfortable in trucking. I was in trucking for almost 10 years. I knew it was crap pay, but eventually got to the point where I was able to get by barely, and I felt that was normal. And it wasn't until I got an opportunity to go somewhere else that I realized that by being there so long and the amount of raises that they gave me, that I was technically getting less than people starting. And just by changing jobs, I had a huge raise. And then I got another one and another one and another one. And I got into an industry that actually like appreciates their people. So
I mean, that's the way I felt too, because my parents, my whole growing up was them just getting by. So I thought that was normal. And, I mean, you can do better. It's possible.
Argo SFM more. I'm going to play 76 so I don't gift more. You're welcome back. Well, have fun at 76. We'll be doing that ourselves in about 2 days. For those Sundays, we're playing Fallout 76. I'm just popping in. Yeah, red ears. Hi there. A friend of mine just recommended this to me, so I figured I'd check it out. Well, welcome, Ice Cube. I do animation stuff, but we chat probably 2/3 of the time anyway. So,
it depends on the amount of alcohol that's been consumed.
Yeah, actually, I've had 2 of these right now, and I'm still not feeling that much.
You want a third?
I kind of do, but I shouldn't. Yeah, fuck it.
That means I get another one.
As long as there's no more like chicken butts.
Chicken butts? That chicken?
Never mind. But welcome. The main point of the streams I keep forgetting to bring that up. If anybody has questions with SFM about how to do animation, how to do how I've done something in the past, wants me to load up a previous file and show like on this shot in remembrance, what were you thinking, or anything in regards to previous content you have a question on, ask away. I have the purpose of the stream was to provide a medium that I could provide assistance to people by answering a question that wouldn't require one-on-one time, because that's a huge time investment, but where I could answer a question and help others along the way. So Alexander says, stop breaking the house. I break the house. He doesn't care because he's Michael. So if you have any questions, that is the number one priority in the stream. So don't think that you're like, I'm interrupting the ability to do something else or get some work done. No, that is actually the point of the stream. So don't worry about that. The work time is technically a secondary thing of if there is no questions at the time. I just keep forgetting to bring that up. So feel free to ask. Might want the best quality audio. That might be a Pony SFM Live, but this can be the best podcast you'll ever have here. So when we actually do the podcast that we're planning later, that's right now the most that Twitch can record audio at is 160 bitrate or whatever. When we do our actual podcast, it's going to probably be double that. The plan for the podcast that we're going to be doing later is not SFM focused. I plan to actually not have it be pony focused at all. We have a couple ideas for stuff, but I don't want to go into it because we haven't locked it in yet. But we have a couple ideas we're tossing around. But it's mainly going to be about us disputing things and just having some fun. And patrons and Twitch subscribers are going to be the ones to determine what it is that we're talking about. And but that's again not till summer, so like no rush on stuff.
One thing I was curious about with that is, are we gonna have like an open chat? No.
It won't be streamed. The only reason it won't be streamed is because the only actual place that we can do the recording for it is upstairs. And to be able to run everything up there to make that work, and to have a computer that would be able to take in the video streams that we'd be recording to actually work in a live setting would not really work. Maybe we could do live versions of it, but the general premise of it would not be live.
Did I put whiskey in that? I know I put some sort of alcohol. Does it have an apple taste? I guess you would know. It would be pretty blatant.
No, I think it's just whiskey, but
okay, maybe I did it right.
But it is pretty strong. So I'm a little concerned that you're unsure if you put alcohol into it, but then it's strong enough that you definitely.
It's not that I was concerned whether or not I put alcohol in it. I'm like, did I put rum in there instead of whiskey?
No, it's not rum.
Okay,
I know that.
Okay,
But you did make it strong.
I mean, it's as strong as I always do.
This is a little stronger, but that's fine. The more I drink, the more I care. But the less I care. I see a question, but let me catch up here. Welcome to podcast. Stop breaking the house, Mike. Yeah. If you wonder, what's the most annoying thing to do for animation? Lip syncing. Lip syncing to me is the most annoying only because I like listening to music. When I'm doing lip syncing, I can't really. It is monotonous. It's a lot of nitpicking and time consumption, and I just don't like where I have to put my brain to do lip syncing. That's why, like right now on Patreon, I think I have it set up like if I hit a certain threshold, which isn't actually that far off now, I'm gonna be hiring on a lip sync person, to where I'm gonna offload all my lip syncing, and because I just don't like doing it, and I already have somebody in mind for doing it, but it would be really nice because it would save me some time, but also it would allow me to jump faster into video making. Like, for instance, some of these other shots, like this one,
It's cool.
like, you know, she has some talking here,
Let's see what this puppy can do.
but I don't like animating anything until the lip syncing is done because some of the timing is dependent on such. And so I sometimes put off starting any shots until the lip syncing is done, but I don't want to do the lip syncing. So then I get stuck in like this catch-22 of I don't want to do the lip syncing, but I have to start the thing. And then I ended up just finishing off everything else instead. So to me, personally, I just hate lip syncing.
I like how there's only 2 characters bit from those already best pony fights.
How you make reflection light windows on Remembrance. Let's open it. So that actually was, I would call them reflection light. Sometime, so in a video, you can either make something that is using the real physics to make the final product or something that just simulates the final product. And a lot of it is the simulating of the final product.
Oh my, it's bright.
Oh my god, they're on fire.
That's how G5's gonna start. It's like, what happened to the main 6? It's like it's just on fire.
Just one day, they're out in the Applejack was out in the field, and then she just burst into flames.
The others tried to put her out, but then they got on fire too. Now you guys know.
I lost my original version of this file, thankfully, because of some weird thing. So I lost all of my original files for it, but I have the version from the workshop. So we will load that up. There we go. There is still going to be some things that aren't going to look right because some of the like textures in the background aren't set up right. So just ignore that. Okay, so what I ended up doing, okay, also ignore the glowing poles. That just happens. If I restart the software, it'll go away. So a lot of these, it depends on what scene it is that was being done. So a lot of these are also, they're made efficient to be only what was mattered from one angle. So like in this one, the window that was used was an actual light, a shadowed light that was shining through and making the shadow, because I needed to actually have her shadow shown. But for a lot of these other ones, like here, you're going to notice these shadows look a little different. They're going to look like kind of crap. And so the ones that I needed to actually have a shadow for, like even here, if you look, oh no, okay, this one's different. Like for instance, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why is this one blank? So this window is basically kind of ignoring the, I feel, okay, let me not talk on math. It's been a long time since I touched this one. It's not there. It is, I haven't touched this video, or I made this video about 6 years ago now, so I have to remember what some of these things do. Nope. Column lights. So I'm thinking that based on this one, there's not that many lights here.
It's pretty crazy when they're glowing like that. From that angle.
It's not outdoor props. Well, actually, that would be the best way to find it. Okay. Where are you? Up there. That's not what I want there, though. Ah, there we go. Okay, so these ones are actually being created by lights. This texture itself is basically ignoring the light. So the light that's coming through is the actual light that is on the floor. And the reason for that is because I needed to make a shadow. So I am using a normal light that is coming through, hitting the wall, coming down, and then striking and creating a texture on the floor. The problem is right here, when you do something like this, the quality of the shadow is based on a couple different factors, but normally it's going to be really, really hard to get a good quality shadow. From this angle, like especially for this shot, it didn't matter. But for some of these other shots, like this one, it really didn't matter because for the angle that you're looking at it from, you're not going to really tell some of those details. When you're looking at some of these shots, like right here, you are going to tell those details. And so I didn't want a shadow that had some of those like weird lines. I wanted a nice clean shadow. Well, then how do you do that? Well, in this one then, and I a lot of this I'm speaking with assuming how my brain worked it then, and I don't 100% know if I am correct. So we are going to see if I am correct. Let's see here.
Like, what is the whole thing about, like, you're a completely different person after, like, every 7 years because all your cells...
Well, it's more of, like, I learn things over time. And so so I'm going to assume with the things that I knew then, but I'm going to be basing it on what I know now. Yeah. And so I think of how I would do this, and I'm trying to remember back to how I did, but it doesn't mean I was right, or I'm right on how I did it. But based on what I'm seeing here... Okay, so I am right. So in this case, so this window, to get the nice detailed shadows, I made a shadowed light, but it's not the same kind of light. So in this case, I am not shining a light through to have it actually be creating a shadow on these lines. Instead, I made a texture that looks like a window, and I shined it on the ground. So if I actually move this around, you can see this over here. Maybe this is a little, you know what, this might... Okay, yep, so you can actually see it. So these lines are correct, but it was because it allowed me to narrow some of the values down to a very, very tight window to get those good details. But the actual shape of the window is actually the actual light itself.
Would you do it differently now?
So you can see it here. If I were to do it different now, I would probably make the light itself have those cross-section lines in it, instead of relying on the actual shadow to make it. But being that her shadow was going to create a shadow of a certain... It was going to remove a certain amount of light from the background. Having the shadow do it for me means that that would be evenly colored shadow, which probably meant it would work better. So this one, to have a sharper shadow, I utilize an actual light that was the shape of the window. So for some of the others, to make it efficient, I would just use one light that would shine through all the windows. But the problem with a lot of that is, if you think about how the sun normally works, the sun is effectively an infinite distance away. To where, and by infinite I mean that if I were to look at, from this point, forward here. Okay, so if I were to look at, say, this window from here, from this pinpoint position, I am looking at it from one direction. But if I use the same light and I also have it hit this window, is it coming from the same direction? No. It is now angled. So this one is coming straight through, but now this one's at an angle, and this one's at an angle. And the further I go down these lines, the more I'm getting it to curve and change the direction of my light. And I don't want that, because it means that if I were looking from a larger shot, it's going to start causing more of these issues. And so you can see, oh, well, I'll just put the light further away, and I'll keep getting further and further and further and further away. But no matter how far away you get, it's still going to be a slightly different angle. So even from this far away, from this angle, it's no longer, like you can see how these lines are. It's not the same. So for some of these like larger shots, I would use 2 lights, and I would shine at this window and this window, because these 2 on the side would usually be close enough. And I'm ignoring these windows, and I'll show you why in a sec. But it would normally be close enough. And so I would use 2 lights. But for anything that would be up close and detailed, I would use an individual light to maximize the shadow usage. And that would be, in that case, the scene. Where I wanted to have a nice, sharp, clean light. Let me catch up. Some of the other questions here, I'm going to try to finish this one and I'll catch up. So Ice Cube, how long have you been animating for? I've been animating since 2013, so that would be like 8 years. I've been streaming for 7, so yeah, I put that in
long
perspective.
time.
Yeah, I have I think I checked, I have 610 recordings. I'm just going to catch up with the easy questions here. Won't my Twitch crash again? I'm sorry, Redstone. Not in live related question, how to become a cool peep. If you're talking about Discord, a stream peep is anybody that's a Twitch subscriber and that's on Twitch. A cool peep is anybody that is a Patreon supporter.
I'm a cool peep.
So I think cool peep is the $5 Patreon support range, which means you get early access to videos and behind the scenes content. I know.
I don't know if I actually set that up right.
Let's check my Patreon, because I can't...
Good, because you can tell me if I'm set up right. I think I am.
Oh, there's my public page. There we go. I can't remember. Okay, so Cool PP has the $5 a month, and so that's just for early access. So everybody gets early access. If you want work in progress content behind the scenes, that's the $1 a month. And I plan to put out a video about this stuff later, but I won't. There's a couple other benefits that are going to be coming for some future content that I want to have edited in here before I start advertising. But yeah, so Cool Peep is that. Super Cool Peep, Discord doesn't have a separation for that. You get credits in the videos. The main separate difference between this and Super or Ultra Peep is that this, if it's a short video, you don't get your name in the credits. If it's really, really short, this one you always do. There's a monthly hangout, and you also get a fancy name. And there's 3 people in there right now, which I know Jules was in here. And Nolan Void, you're also in there, so thank you very much. And I think Lunar was as well.
I'm doing like $20 a month.
Yeah, you're
I'm like in the strange zone.
But you can choose lower if you want. But yeah, if you want to be a cool peep, that is the $5 a month. Which I'm just going off the side for anybody that doesn't know. I do not put any of this money towards me. Everything, 100% of all the funds are put right back into stream stuff. Like I recently got a stream deck, which has supremely helped out on making stuff efficient. The lights, some of the camera stuff, some of the future stuff we have planned. I brought on an editor now that is paid for their work. I recently just paid them for the Twitch trailer that we put up recently. And some of the other stuff that they're going to be doing, which I can't talk about yet. So there is a ton of stuff coming in the future, and a lot of it is costing money, and it has been amazingly helpful. So thank you everybody that has been supporting. And some of those extra benefits are for just, I want to do more behind the scenes stuff as it's coming. I feel like some of the benefits aren't there for Patreon right now for what the cost is, but it is helping me get to that point. So thank you very much for everybody that's there right now. Anyways, Late SFM is witchcraft. I've always said before that how SFM works is you can either use all the normal rules to make something that looks and works the way that you would expect it to, but all that really matters is what is in the camera shot. So it doesn't matter if you want to break the rules to make it work in that shot. Doggo just missed to jump on the couch to sit with me. And Myth with his paws and bonked his head on the soft edge. Oh, I love doggos.
Poor Puppo.
I thought Stream Peep was Twitch VIPs. No, Stream Peep is Twitch subs. I couldn't think of what to call the groups of people, so I just called them peeps. But no, Twitch VIPs are people that I just see here often. They're not Twitch subs. They're not Twitch. They're not Patreon people. They are just people that I see here enough that that by just being here, you are supporting in a really cool way. And so I just give you a fun little diamond. Every 2 months, I kind of go through the list of the past couple ones and determine what should be added to there. Derpy is VIP, yes. All my invitations are gone to Flood 76 are rage quit. Remember leaving this table were part of what got me into Pony. Surprisingly, the amount of people that would say that Fall Equestria got them into Pony. Oh, not even that. That Fall Equestria was the fandom they joined and they didn't care about Pony. Is actually surprising.
How does that happen?
Fall Equestria is so fucking big, but it's so good.
I do. So good. I've read a fair bit.
Don't count time to stand by. Sorry guys, hope you're good. Well, welcome, Title Fang. Well, thank you for coming and talking. But I hope you enjoy your day. Man, I wish I could be paid to do what I love. But the thing is, like, to me, a lot of what Patreon and Twitch does isn't. I'm not being paid. It's more of. Previous to 2020, I was not doing things very correctly, and I was going negative. I was spending my own money to make things work, but because of such, I was doing the minimal that I needed to do to make things work. The software that I use, a lot of that stuff, I never really invested anything because it was all my money. There was some people in Patreon, but it was basically helping cover my some of my software costs, and I could never grow because a lot of the choices that I made for YouTube made it so I couldn't monetize. So I've changed that, and I've been trying to now in the last year push on growing on a lot of stuff, but growth costs money. And so I am still at the point where I am still eating into my own funds on some stuff. I'm getting less and less reliant on things. But between Patreon, between Twitch, and between YouTube, I have been able to enhance things a lot. I want to, because I still have a full-time job, I want to bring on people that can start taking some of the burden off of me, and that for some of the things that maybe I spent 20% of my time on, so that they can do it 100% of their time, make it bigger and better, and put out more stuff. And I can still then take that 20% away from what things that I did and increase the amount that I can do into the other things. But it is taking time to get to that point. And so the last couple of weeks have been very busy to try to get to that point. But it's been, so I made a separate bank account. Really? That is 100%, through my bank, because I have a mortgage, I can make new bank accounts for free. I made a separate bank account, so everything goes into a separate bank account. I keep a spreadsheet, and so that my goal is that at the end of every year, everything that I bring in between YouTube, Patreon, and Twitch is gone. Everything. And I do not want to keep any of it. None of it goes into my bank account. Everything goes into, if I make a bunch more suddenly, I'm going to put it all back into finding something to make it so that I can make more stuff more often or make better stuff. I do not keep any of it. I have a good paying job right now. Me making any of the money or keeping any of the money is not going to help me in any way. It's not going to help me pay my mortgage. I can pay my mortgage. It's not going to help me in any at all. So why keep any of it? So I am 100% putting everything back in, probably 200%, because especially when the podcast starts, I'm going to be dropping a lot.
I mean, it depends how you want to go about it. As far as the microphones are concerned.
Man, I wish I could get paid. That's answering that question. What do you love? Being alive. It sounds really cliche.
I mean, some days.
It's stupid, but being alive to experience life, to be able to breathe my next breath, and to be able to smile in any day that I exist is to me a good day.
So don't talk about
is that a clicky kitty I see? I don't know. Oh yeah, that's an. And hello, call me. Actually, I don't recognize your name. Welcome. Anyways, in terms of lights, so I think I caught up in chat there. So, so that is me explaining how these lights work. These lights are different. And so these lights are essentially the same as this one that I showed, where they're in an individual light that is textured, just like this one is, to the shape of a window, but it is shaped to whatever this window is. But this is what the texture looks like from this direction. The light itself is from this direction. So I put a giant black wall there because I didn't want the light's going to shine through that actual window. I don't want it shining through that window. So I put a giant blocker in there to prevent the light that is coming through. So this one has its own light that's coming through for this detail. But like I mentioned, these other ones, you can see that the detail's a lot lower. These ones I don't care about, because all I needed in this shot was just some background to fill those lights in the background. I didn't care about the details for it. So, but I didn't want it coming through on these parts, because that would just make a yellow light over what would be normally what are these called? Stained glass. Stained glass. So to do that though, I had to take this texture that was applied to this and I had to reverse it. I had to put it in reverse, because again, I am not looking at it from this direction. I am shining it through this direction. And because I had to actually spin it in reverse so that it looked like this direction. So now when you look at Discord here, you can see his head popping up, going from the right to the left, but it's going from the left to the right. So it's going in that direction. But if I were to shine a light like that at the ground, it would be crystal clear. So the texture itself is also blurred. So this whole light, this one that exists on the ground, is falsely blurred, falsely reversed, and is just fake. But it looks like it's real. And
that must have taken some doing to figure out.
Not really, but going into each thank you for the follow, Trap Isaac. Going into each shot and putting them in there correctly to where they looked like in this shot, it really didn't matter, because I could have moved it like a foot or to the left or right, nobody would have noticed. But some of these other shots, like this one was a lot, again, ignore the glowing columns, was a lot tougher because I had to block every one of these windows. And again, I am making assumptions as I'm going through. So if those windows weren't blocked, I would have been very confused. Because I can't think of how else. Wait, this is going to crash? Oh, no, it's not. So I'm making these assumptions based on what I remember. The actual light itself, too, when it hits the ground, these are two different lights. So one of them is defining the actual light hitting the ground, because that one I have a nice bright light. The volumetrics are a second light. So there is basically the same light, but I just dropped the brightness a lot and I changed some other properties because I didn't want it, depending on which one I used. Like sometimes, depending on when it's coming in, I want my certain ones to be brighter. Sometimes, maybe not. If I had all of them the same brightness all the way across, maybe by the end of them, or maybe at the beginning, somewhere along the line, it maybe would seem imbalanced because of how the software layers things. And so I might change things along the way. Here, just on like even this flag, this one I remember, there's actually flag lights. Yeah, right here. These are all individual lights. So if I shut off, I'm going to separate this. So this is, and I can't ignore the glowing columns. These are lights that are sole purpose of just lighting the flags because the engine itself couldn't light them properly. Why? Because the lights that are actually coming through would normally hit this glowing surface, cause a light to emit, and that light would then light up these flags. That's basically a ray tracing type of thing. SF doesn't do ray tracing, so it's going to ignore these completely. So instead, I have to create them manually. And so that's why if you actually see all the way down these flags, those. Oh, yeah, right here. So, you can actually see I manually lit all those flags. So if you think that it looks like really good lighting, it's not because the engine is doing it for me. It's because I just kept poking at it until I found something that felt legitimate. Have you heard about the new Animating G5 movie? I think you're the 5th person.
Yeah. Speaking,
we had a lot of people bring up G5. Everybody is talking about G5.
Speaking of G5, though, if there are statues of the main 6 somewhere in G5, like the ones you have here, it's like, no, they're imprisoned.
No, I would never do that. I would find, if they were to do something like that, for one, it's not going to happen because they would be afraid of something happening. But I would find it super cool. But I don't see it.
I'm just talking about statues, not them coming to life from statues, but just statues. And I do see that happening. I do see them just having statues.
It would be pretty cool. It'd be like the next, like Ashley H made the radio drama, but that would be like the next step past. That would be like,
like if they just had statues.
No, there's so much I can talk about with
statues. I see happening. If they have them in the exact same way you have them here, okay, that would be.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna detour for a second. So the statue positioning. Okay, so a couple of things regarding the statue positioning. For one, I have some plushies upstairs that they're all up in that same position.
No! You're admitting things that I don't even know.
Twilight is on the left, then it goes Applejack, Rarity, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy. So I just put them in that direction because I had to put them up there some way. But if you had to ask me the main reason why they are in the order that they are,
Rainbow Dash is your favorite, and she gets center.
So there's a couple important things. One, Rainbow Dash is center because
here comes the BS.
If
we know why she's there.
Rainbow Dash is center because if you were to think of a pony that would basically actually write in something that would state that they had to be the center, it would be Rainbow Dash, right?
Or Rarity.
No, I don't see Rarity requesting center. Rainbow Dash would be like, I want to be the goddamn middle of this shit. So that was the main reason Rainbow Dash was center. And also, when I wrote up a lot of this script stuff, the script for this actually called for this exact shot right here. When I wrote it up, this exact shot camera comes in from left of Rainbow Dash because of the wings being spread, so that it creates a more full shot. And comes into Rarity. That was actually like written into it. I didn't have many things defining how these camera shots would be done, but that was one that was written in. Otherwise, the camera positioning was done where Rainbow Dash was middle, and then balancing of color. So the main difference was, okay, so what are we dealing with color? If we had to talk about color balancing, the main issue that we're dealing with is Fluttershy and Applejack. Because Fluttershy and Applejack are the exact same color.
One's orange, one's yellow.
Compared to the rest, they are the exact same color. Or if I were to put Applejack right here, it would mean red, purple, blue, yellow, orange, or something. That would be putting a very, very large amount of the same type of color towards one side. So I immediately determined that I wanted to split up the colors. And so the first idea was Rainbow Dash in the middle, and then Fluttershy and Applejack on the extremes to get them the colors separated. Could I have moved Applejack to the middle here and been fine? Maybe. But I felt like then it removes some of the symmetry that would come from it, because the only other one that would have made sense for color balance would have been Rarity in the middle and then blue and red on both sides to create the purple. But Rainbow Dash is cool, so we're gonna put Rainbow Dash.
There it is.
So the idea was then put Applejack and Fluttershy on the extremes, and then it didn't matter in the middle there. The main reason I think I did Pinkie Pie was because at least it kind of mixed with the red or the pink from Fluttershy's mane. And the other idea was that Fluttershy is shy, so she would want to be on the outside. But again, the main thing was color balance, and so that's why the order was done the way that it was done. That was the number one reason. Rainbow Dash being in the middle was going to happen. I was just going to do it. So,
any excuse you could find.
But the main reason for the whole order was because of color balance.
If this was me making the video, it would have been a long explanation of why the middle one was derpy.
So anyways, in terms of the lighting though, that's basically, so I basically explained how I did a lot of the lighting. So anytime you see any of the lights in here that look like this kind of jagged edge, it's because it's a larger light that is shining through multiple. Anytime you see a more detailed light, like this one was done using an actual textured light. Because the amount of detail that a shadow produces is dependent a lot on its minimum and maximum. So like where it starts and where it ends. And if I'm doing a light that's going to cover a large area like this, I'm going to have to expand its minimum and maximum. But it gets exponentially more detail as it gets closer to it to like touching. So if I can have a light that is only going through one window, I can get that really, really close. And I can make sure that if I'm using a texture of the window, then I know exactly the edges of the window that's popping up there. Well, here, you can see that these edges are fairly fuzzy. But if I go to these shots that aren't, like even these ones I didn't care. You can actually see the double lights crossing because it didn't matter. But like on these ones, like even these ones, you can see these lights, they actually shift and move. Like each of these shots is custom lit just depending on the situation, because I only cared about what was visible at the time. There was an entire out here before Remembrance started. Right now I have the would you choose friends or forever? That was a bullshit thing that I added at the beginning because I had no idea how to start the video. It originally was going to have a pre-roll that was about a minute long that was going to be a conversation between Twilight and Celestia that would provide context for the video. I'm glad it never happened because some of the theories that came from the people watching the video ended up being better than my idea for the video, but making such a pre-roll would have locked in lore that then would have prevented people from coming up with ideas that I thought were actually better. But there was a couple shots. I have no idea what these are called. So you have to forgive me for scrolling through here. Oh, yeah, here. Ignore the TARDIS. This is actually what the outside of this thing is. So you can actually see right here, right at the edge here, that is the actual wall right here. So this is essentially...
That's a beautiful scene.
This is actually this shot right here. Bam.
It's probably one of the most intricate scenes, honestly, I've seen.
There's another one. Is there one called Fountain? He
makes these beautiful right
here. Oh, there's this one. Thanks for the follow, Ice Cube. Thank you for choosing to follow. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Actually, to me, follows are super important. So, thank you very much. Ignore the TARDIS. That's what even the doctor said.
Ignore it.
Ignore the police box. And just a quick thing on this. The only way to make this shot works was a lot of Photoshop. Don't think that you can make any pony in SFM actually do that pose, and even that pose itself makes her look pregnant. Bon Bon has no comment.
It's magic.
There's the TARDIS one. There was another one I had that was of a fountain. I wonder if that's on. Is that only on DeviantArt?
Did she not save to your computer?
We're going on an adventure.
Let's
go to DeviantArt here. Let's go to gallery. Let's go to... I don't think it's featured. Let's go to pony picture. I don't think this is even a pony picture.
3 of your...
Here it is. Okay, so this is the actual full garden shot. So this was to show a candle in the background. It was to show a fountain that was spewing some crap. I don't care what that is. And this is the actual like building here. The original idea for Remembrance was to have that Twilight and Celestia were going to have a picnic in the garden, and Twilight was going to bring up that she is, so the original plan, again, this is my idea for a theme, it is not the actual official Remembrance canon. There is none. I like to take whatever people give as being whatever they want it to be based on what is visually shown. But my original canon was that it was about 200 years in the future, and that Twilight still hadn't gotten over the fact that her friends were gone, and that she could no longer continue. She was done in doing such, and they were going to have a conversation, and that she was going to bring them back. And Celestia was going to be against it, but she was going to be, you're your own person, do what you need to do. And so the original idea was that right about here in this garden, there was going to be a table and some chairs, and they were going to have a conversation with this whole scene in the background. It never happened, mainly because, for two reasons. So one, scope creep. It was becoming way too big of a video. It was taking way too long to finish this. It was good. If to do this whole scene would have taken me months and months more of work. Found voice actors and then paid them for the work that I couldn't afford, because at this time that I'm making this video, I was making crap money, and so basically I would have went extremely negative to try to do the work legitimately. And for number two, the second reason was I got injured at work. And
I remember that was nasty.
So when I got injured at work, I was unable to do most things normally. I injured my leg, and it prevented me from being able to walk or be able to do most things normally for quite a while. And
it was also really gross.
I had to, I'm not going to show some of the pictures. It was really messy, but it made it so that most of my streams were performed from the ground. Where I had, because of blood reasons, that I had to keep my leg elevated. And so I was sitting at my coffee table on the ground, my leg under a pillow, and I was streaming from the floor onto my TV. It was a very rough period, and it was about a month and a half that it took me to fully recover. And because of such, even if I wanted to go forward with the stuff, would have delayed it even months more. And so I decided to just go forward with it. So I made a cheap intro, which was what Remembrance ended up being, and I went with it. I'm glad that it went that way, because it allowed other people to come up with theories that I feel were better than the original writing. Mainly the one being where Twilight bringing her friends back from the dead is immensely selfish, and so in that instead she wasn't bringing them back from the dead, but she was moving to the afterlife.
Suicide.
And I'm going to call it suicide. It was more of that she has already passed her expected lifespan. And so she has chosen to end her immortality prematurely. I don't know if...
You can talk my head.
Michael likes dark topics.
No, you're the one who's like, so she ended her life, but it's not suicide.
Well, no, it's where she chose to just move on, and so that she can reunite with her friends, not by bringing him back. And by selfish, I mean that where if, say, Applejack came back from the dead, whoop, Applejack's alive again, ooh, that's really cool. Well,
Science.
Granny's dead, and Apple Bloom's dead, and Big Mac is dead, and nothing I ever knew is gone, and my property was sold, and what do I have left to live for? Why did you do this to me? And so it's where everything that was identifiable with that character, Rainbow Dash existing for the Wonderbolts, but she's gone. Do they just suddenly incorporate her back in? Everybody that she's known is gone. Everybody that she has grown a relationship with for the past couple decades is gone. Is that the same life?
Yeah, but
Piggy Pie having her child dead from old age, having her husband dead, everything gone. That is selfish.
I mean,
it is Twilight saying that I want my friends back at any cost, and I don't care.
It doesn't seem to bother Larry King. I mean, he's having his head frozen so he can come back in 200 years.
Larry King can be Larry King. Why do you bring up Larry King?
I'm just talking about somebody who's going to come back in 200 years. Because he's gonna have his head frozen so he can come back as Cyborg Larry King in 200 years.
Okay, then we can have Cyborg Larry King in 200
I
years.
want Cyborg Applejack.
So the whole idea was that was selfish. So I love the idea that she had actually moved on to the afterlife, and but even more important than that, I love the idea that other people can interpret things differently, and so that's why this is my original idea. But that does not mean that is what the current idea is. I love that fact that other people can interpret it the way they want. Nonetheless, this was the original idea, the whole plan for actually the whole outside. So if you actually look in Remembrance, actually it doesn't matter, I can just use this. You can actually see out here that some of these buildings pop into existence in these trees is because there was the potential that I would use that, and so I needed trees and other things to be out there. And well, for one, also I needed to make sure there was something in detail out there. I didn't want it to be blank or whatever. But yeah, this is a very long explanation for how the shadows work.
It did take about an hour.
These volumetrics that are coming through are mainly the ones that are coming through. The colored windows are just like volumetrics that are coming through. These ones are not. These ones are an actual light ray window. So you can see if I shut those off. They're an actual light ray model, which comes with Dota, I believe, which for most people, you're not going to be able to get Dota content anymore because I believe that was all converted to SFM2. I got these before when they improved a lot of their models, but it was still under SFM1. And then I downloaded the game, grabbed a lot of the models, exported them to SFM, and then Dota 2 updated it, but I still maintained all the old models that I had. So you're probably not going to be able to do that anymore unless you can find a download.
There's probably download somewhere.
I won't be able to help you with that or point you in any direction. But it is these cool little like light ray models, which you can actually see here. They're just like kind of flat texture. There's a couple different versions. This is a X and Y version, which you can actually see is coming through is an X and no, actually I think it's just X. Yeah, so these are only single direction. There is also an X and Y version, which has them coming through like this. Then there's a version that just comes through like this. This is one that only using this version. I love using these because if you put them at just the right angle when they're coming through, you can get these nice. So you put them through at the basically just where you can see like the flat texture, and then you turn them just a little bit, and that creates these nice race ray beams. And so I'll use these quite a bit. Astraeo uses them a ton as well. I have not looked at chat for a little bit, so let me just do a quick catch
goodbye,
up.
Redstoner.
You heard about the new PG5 movie? Yeah, Trailblazer, we have talked about that quite. There are 3 new characters. There's Sonny, Hitch, and Izzy. Yeah, we have talked about this quite a few times. That I brought that up again. The ending of the Pegasus yet too. I actually want to see what the Pegasus is first because I love Pegasus.
No.
Sonny being the main character, we'll see. Pegasus is more important. The movie takes place years after the main 6. Again, we'll see, because like
that's the synopsis.
The synopsis, but again, it's the synopsis. Who knows? Was it years after the main 6, or is there going to be some time dilation? Who knows? Sci-fi is broken crap. Are you remaking Remembrance? No. And that one person who can't. Welcome. No, I'm not remaking Remembrance. I am. I had a question about Remembrance, so I loaded it up. I had mentioned before that if anybody had questions about previous stuff I had made, I would load it up and answer those questions. I like adventures sometimes. Don't do this to me, Mitch.
Mitch is so sad. You know,
Mitch is dark.
Sometimes you just want to lie in bed and think about things.
And then Eclipse Films brings up, what do you think of new MLPG5?
What do you think about the MLPG5? I do not know.
Oh my
yet.
god, do I have to like make a Twitter post about this?
It is the new thing.
It is. It feels like
it is the big horse news.
Okay, so Eclipse Films, the reason I'm saying that is because you were like the 6th person that's asked that. But it is
See, it's
because
good.
when you've went multiple years without any new content and something new pops up, everybody gets super excited about it. And so I fully understand. But we have also answered that question a couple of times already. It looks cool. Looking forward to it. Hoping for new information because it's pretty minimal right now. I am positive on what it looks like, except it is 3D, and so everybody's going to start talking trash about SFM now because SFM looks like crap compared to some super expensive professional
nobody's
software.
gonna do that. You
give
worried
it-
about nothing. SFM still looks wonderful. Those horses are cute, sir.
I'm waiting. Okay, I want to see how long does it take me to get to a comment on YouTube that doesn't say like, "Hey, have you seen the new content on the whatever?"
Nobody was like that with the Pinkie Pie specials, and that was 3D.
As soon as those came out, I actually did get comments about it. Is this deleted scenes from the MLP movie? Oh, that's the original movie. That doesn't count. I want to see if I can run into a comment that talks about it. Somebody did ask on here, what do you think of the new MLP movie thing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but this is... See, now this is a quality comment. What the actual fuck is this?
What is it?
Directed by Twitch stream. Okay, makes sense. Anyways,
The horses are cute. It don't matter.
but yes, I am. My outlook for the new movie is positive because I feel like they did a very good blend between 2D and 3D to maintain what made 2D special, but making it into 3D. I understand why going into 3D because it does kind of make some things easier. But I am happy to see how positive the community is about stuff because the community is normally very negative on change and they are very positive on this change. That is actually very cool. So I am happy, not because of what outcome came from the trailers, but because of how the community has reacted to it. That wasn't what I expected. Anyways, Michael, Redstoner requested some stuff.
Goodbye, Redstoner.
Hold on.
Oh, no, wait. Goodbye, Redstoner. You have a wonderful day. I wish you only the best. Unless you're out to do no good. And then you stop that right now, sir. Or madam. No, actually, no.
Can you still read that?
Goodbye, Redstoner. Goodbye. Oh, it's
You
like,
gotta read what he wrote.
you're the best. I deep fry Alf. And why do I hooray? That's what it says.
That is what it says, actually. So, okay, I guess.
And why do I hooray to you too, sir?
Please give me a goodbye. I gotta go to sleep, and my phone is nearly dead. What kind of voice impression is that? You're like,
You just want me to say goodbye to
you're the
him.
best. Okay, well, he says goodbye. And Alf is Alfredo, because that's the name of the chicken.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Alf, the alien.
I actually kind of thought that earlier, too.
Wait,
but no,
that's
his name
Alf?
is Alfredo. No, his name is Alfredo, because he's Alfredo chicken. You get it?
I do, but I'm still upset.
I am kind of too, even though I'm the one that named him.
I mean, you can't unname him now, so it's too late.
Does that work? Can you do that?
I mean,
Like, can I unname children?
wouldn't that be crazy? Like,
if I had a kid, can I unname him?
like he's 13, and you're just like, you know what? I've changed my. You're Frank now, and it's just like, no.
Anyways, go through here. By the way, are there SFM models for G5 characters? PSFMer made a picture that was a replication of one of the shots from the trailer. So if anybody has a model, it'd be him. But more than likely, what that is not a it's probably not an official model. It's probably just a recolor of something that
Might be the
exists.
main.
I do that all the goddamn time. If I need something that looks like something, I'll find something that looks similar enough, and I'll just retexture it.
I mean,
Thankfully, ponies are all pastel single colors, so I'm making a pony from purple to blue, or like purple to green.
okay.
Hiccups.
Yes. I give it like another day or two, and there'll be like proper source filmmaker models of those characters.
So Paddocks, you say Izzy is the best. I don't know which one is Izzy.
There's only 2 of them.
So like
There's
every
people picking.
So I've been really busy between like working on the new video, trying to figure out some other logistics behind the scenes for stuff, and so like the whole community exploded with some like new content that existed, but
it certainly did.
I have been so focused on some other stuff that I haven't really paid attention to it, so I have no idea which one is Izzy.
Izzy, I think, is the main one. Is the Earth
You
Pony.
think?
I'm pretty sure. That
Pretty
she's
sure is not
No,
an
wait.
answer.
No, she's Scout. She's Sunny.
She's Scout?
Sunny is the Earth Pony. Izzy is the unicorn with the tennis ball on her horn.
Okay. There's 3 characters. I thought there was 2.
There's only 2 that have been named. There's a third one who's a Pegasus, but nobody knows her name yet. And then there's a male pony named something.
Chad.
He's Chad. He's a waifu stealer and a demon.
It's a demon.
He's a demon because he's stealing.
How dare you?
Yes.
No, okay, yeah, I haven't really paid attention to that stuff just because I've been so busy with other stuff. This I've been wanting to try to finish a video out in by next week, and it's just been that's consumed my time, so I haven't been able to pay attention to any of the news. All my news has come from the fandom, which is not the best place to get news because like they'll be like, she's the creator of worlds, and like she can start things on fire with her mind, and I have no idea if that's true or not. I have legitimately no idea. But the art that's come from it, the art I can trust.
Yeah, the art's
which I actually thought was bullshit at first too, but now at least it's confirmed.
It is.
It gives me high hopes. Anyways, just out of curiosity, I've heard about G5. I hope that answers that question. Just out of curiosity, I can't remember if I was asked, what was your stance on SFM2, and do you plan on using it? SFM2 is a straight upgrade from SFM. Everything is better. The main things being, and the main issues I had with SFM1 were 32-bit, so you're restricted on RAM. SFM2 fixes that 100%, unlimited RAM, essentially. And the lighting in the original SFM I felt was a little rough. The lighting in SFM2 is exactly what I would want it to be. Everything is better, except the one problem with SFM2 is the models from SFM1 don't port correctly. So you can port a model, but you can't port its flexes. And by flexes, I mean the face stuff. So like the eye, being able to close the eye, being able to put the eyes or the mouth into pucker, being able to put the mouth into stretch. For many times, the mouth open. A lot of the stuff that gives the emotion to a face, the details to a face, are under flexes, and those don't port correctly right now.
Yeah.
So SFM2 looks great, looks perfect, but unless the models themselves are ported to SFM2, until a tool exists, which supposedly exists and will eventually exist, to port models from SFM1 to SFM2.
Valve's working on it.
Yeah,
I believe.
There's nothing I can do because I can port a model to work in there. I can put I put Rathalos into SFM2, but I lost all control of his face. So while like his model existed, I can move his wings, I can load the rig, and I can move him around like normal. I had no control to be able to create facial expressions. And while in the end, could I make a video with him? Yeah, I could, but he would be blank-faced. And to me, the biggest thing that people focus on is the face. So the most important part isn't there yet. So when the porting tool exists for the face, thanks for the follow, Zyphris? Zyphris 404. I have a webmaster degree, so like 404 makes sense to me. So, so once the facial expressions conversions exist, sure, I would love to move to Source 2 But even once those tools exist, how long does it take to port that stuff? Because I have literally like 45,000 models. Do I use them all? No. But I love having a library that I can pick from. I love being able to grab from old save files. Can I load up an old save file and load a DMX into something that is from an old file and a new file? I don't know.
I mean,
and so there's going to be a transition period. Eventually, SFM2 will get to where it needs to be. It's just not there yet. Until it's there, I'm fine with SFM1. It's fine. Especially since lately I've just been doing a lot of shit posts.
All those things can port into Blender, so I have to imagine they just need one directly through.
Oh, you guys are writing way fast. I get distracted and like talking, and then I forget what you guys are writing. Just out of curiosity, I can't remember if it was. Yeah, I already answered that. Is the picture of Sunny's room? There are figurines that made 600 desk. Yes. That to me the most important part to pull out of that Panox is that it's the same universe. Mm-hmm. What that means outside of the same universe doesn't matter. To me, the fact it implies the same universe is all that matters. What does the story tell on them? Nothing. The fact that they're on her stand or on there at all means that they are an important icon to that universe, and it is the same universe. That is to me all that matters. Mm-hmm. After that, whatever they want to pull off, I will leave open.
I mean, Derpy better be in Gen 5.
Derpy's dead.
No,
as a Frank is a good name. I like Frank. It is a good. Everyone should replace their children's names to Frank.
Everyone should be named Frank.
Luigi, why is your name TVZ Luigi instead of TVZ Frank?
It's a good question.
I have a question for you, and I request an answer.
He's always trying to.
Because your name is apparently not Frank, and if you want this to be the universe, you're gonna have to comply.
I have to hit you now, apparently.
That's very important.
There. He did it.
Did you touch me?
I did. He told me to. It's his fault.
Did he?
He told me I had to hit you.
I think this third drink was the mistake. Anyways.
I'm crying.
I'm going to sleep now. Bye, Argo. Good night, Alexander. Thanks for the support. Thank you for being here.
I'm sad.
I appreciate it. It's been nice though.
No, Derpy was encased in muffin batter, and she's fine. She's like carbonite.
Hidden Mike Derpy is best.
Yeah.
Is that a hit?
I did cry after because I didn't like it, but the chat told me to.
Okay, I hate making. Okay, I like lists, but okay, two things. For one, that was a hit.
Yes.
And two, that was your equivalent of a hit. Like, if somebody's robbing you, do you go, eh?
I mean, I had to defend Derpy's honor, so.
Okay.
You've had a lot.
This cup is really big.
It is big.
And there's 3 of them. Mm-hmm. And you probably put like...
I always fill it up to the line.
Holy crap. Really?
Yeah, with ice.
Anyways, hello, Steak. Sorry, I've been drinking a lot. Hey, Argo, thanks for your thoughts about Remembrance and your other project. It's not just my thoughts. Those were my original ideas. But... before I finish your comment here, everything that I originally thought about Remembrance does not mean crap. Only what is presented, what is from the time frame of 000 till whatever makes up the final video, that is all that matters. I can state whatever I want, but whatever you want to interpret from the final video is up to you. So if you think that the video is interpreted a different way, 100% go with that. Ashley H made the whole radio drama based on the way that she interpreted the final video of Remembrance. That is 100% okay. The fact that she even made that was absolutely amazing. So don't think that that my idea as to how I planned for it originally to go is the only way that it would go. No, not at all. I feel that my original idea for the story is not as good as the community's come up with, and so come up with it with your whatever theory you thought is correct. It's cool to hear the backstory and ideas that came into making them. There is, it would take me way too long to find it. If you dig back on my Twitter, I posted probably about a year ago, a bunch of behind the scenes stuff for Remembrance, and one of them was the original script for Remembrance. Oh God, I'm probably gonna regret this, but
posted it somewhere.
I can't remember. How do you get the notes anymore?
I haven't been on DeviantArt in like a year.
Oh my God, how do you get the notes anymore? Like the DA changed so much stuff.
I think it would be notifications.
I don't even know anymore. Mentions, replies, comment. I don't even know anymore.
Also, the alcohol is probably not helping.
Yeah, that's probably. Oh wait, it's probably under here.
Oh, there it
okay,
was.
There's notes. So I have a lot of notes. It's gonna take a while to load. So it's probably not gonna work. So I have a. If you go back on my Twitter, there is an actual, like, I posted a picture of the original script that I had for Remembrance, and you can very much tell from that script. The first half of it, I was unsure about. I had a pretty good idea as to how the last half was going to go, but the first half, I was really unsure of, and a lot of the ideas I had for it didn't come to fruition. A lot of it came because I just rushed it. So, like, the whole idea that of having the, like, ghost friends come into existence, like right here, you can't see them.
These are friends all cheering her on to die.
So you're not gonna see them because of how the textures are set up. But the original idea for that was to originally have a completely different scene. A lot of the original ideas for a lot of the beginning parts were unsure. The main idea I had for Remembrance was the last half. To me, a lot of that last half was better because I knew what I was going to do. A lot of the shots, specifically all the camera angles, everything was very, very written in stone. The first half I was unsure of, and I felt that it was very thrown together, and I'm glad that it ended up working in the end, and maybe people saw it as being fairly scripted, but it wasn't. Everything up until this point right here felt unsure. Everything past this, everything up until basically end there, so where I have it marked here, was fine. Everything up until then, from this point and before, I didn't know what I was going to do because it was all reliant on a pre-roll that I didn't make. And because of that, it ended up being the last portion of it, while scripted, had to work with the pre-roll or the early part. And originally, I was going to have not these ghostly friends parts, but I was going to actually have Twilight walking through the hall, but instead of walking through memories, I was going to have the whole background change to show, like, Rarity walking through her shop and making a dress, and Fluttershy playing with her animals. This shot was just way too difficult, and it would have been where.
What you ended up doing was better than that.
So if I would have went with the way that I went with it, it would have been, I think, more emotional, but it would have been, every shot would have been so many multitudes more complex to make, because if I were to have her actually walking through the memories with her friends, which was what a lot of these shots were, it would require me building whole new scenes, animating whole new characters, giving them personality, then crossfading them with other scenes that existed. Therefore, meaning that any scene that was crossfaded, I would have had, like, say there was a 3 seconds of crossfade, I would have had to have animated 3 seconds on both shots. It was way more work than I was capable of doing. So instead, to actually get the video out, because I showed it at BronyCon with the ghostly figures, to get it out, I ended up rendering these out with these full characters with double brightness, and then overlaying that on top of the render without them there at half opacity. That made them look ghostly in the background, and because of the double brightness, when you put them at half brightness, it makes them normal brightness, and so it made them look ghostly in the background. Hidden Mike Derby's best. Nope. Hey Ergo, thoughts on Remembrance and Red Predators. Cool to hear the backstory and the ideas that came from making them. This video was a long time in the making. I spent a lot of time. I started this video. I started working on the map for it. I wonder if the original file still exists for that. I was mining earlier, so I quit Dropbox, but there was I was trying to determine how to build the original map around this video, and it just there was a lot of ideas that I originally had that just didn't come to fruition in the end. And so I ended up, the idea originally I had for the video was probably twice as big as I originally actually made it. But you're limited on how much time you have and how many resources you have. And at the time, it was just me. So I was building a map and I got frustrated. The software that I was using was super limited. It was destroying my file as it was going. I was making multiple copies. I gave up. And so I stopped working on this for months. I eventually came back to it because I did a poll on DeviantArt and they requested to work on this one, and so I went back to working on it. But nonetheless, it was just, how do you plan to stream for? Yeah, I'm already way over. I'm pretty much going through questions and that's it. The Ghost Friends are such an emotional touch. I'd say it's perfect for the video. I'm glad you say that because it was very much an afterthought. I did not know how to fill those shots. The Ghost Friends was a way to show her friends so that you had some information prior to when they came back. But they were very much shoot in.
I definitely thought that was a better choice than going back and doing scenes of them in the past. The Ghost Friends makes it feel like she was thinking.
What originally was going to be that I was going to rotate around her. So it was always going to be the same shot where Twilight herself was going to maintain and be in every single shot. But it was going to constantly fade within her being. So while it was rotating around her, it was going to constantly fade to being within shots of her friends. So she was going to be the central pin that was rotating around everything of Rarity, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Pinkback. Everybody's going to fade into their memory within her memory, within the same exact shot.
Yeah. The Ghost Friend thing, though, just feels more emotional. I don't know why.
Maybe.
It just feels like she's thinking of walking.
I really like my idea, but the amount of work it would have taken would have been 10 to 100 times more work than I actually put into what this was. So that's fine, because less work. It's one of the most emotional videos I've ever watched. I'm glad. I actually have no emotional attachment to it anymore, because when you make something, you are seeing it, you write it, you build it, and so you are assuming what attachments would be to it. I don't have those attachments to it, so I'm glad it worked out. I did not think it would, but I'm glad it did. So glad you finished it. It was a rough finish, for sure. I knew I would finish it. It just didn't finish the way I thought it would, and because it didn't finish the way I thought it would be unsuccessful. Instead, it ended up being probably the second most successful video I've made on my channel. For some reason, Luna's Banishment is more successful. We won't talk about that.
It is so...
It's one of the most emotional videos I've ever watched. It made me cry. A lot of people it did. I did not know how emotional people thought of the remembrance until after I presented it at BronyCon, because I had dozens of people come up to me after the convention talking about it, and they were crying and connections to their real life, but I had no connection to it because literally I'd spent crunch time for weeks prior to that convention trying to get it done, or not done, but presentable at the convention, which was not the same that I put on YouTube. I did not have the same connection to it. You burn out on it. And I'm back. I'm catching the end of the stream. Yes, I'm probably going to end here because I need to use the bathroom. So.
Yeah, I figured as much. Like, you just had 3 big drinks and you're just like, I've been to the bathroom twice during the stream.
We're getting there. So, nonetheless, thank you everybody for hanging out. Oop, that's the wrong direction.
Like,
it's
no,
mirrored.
You're not allowed.
Thanks for everybody for the comments. That was actually a lot of fun to do some Remembrance background. I know a lot of people think a lot of Remembrance, and so it's kind of fun to see too. We'll talk about that. Thanks for hanging out. Do know that we have a stream on this Sunday. So in 2 days, we're doing Fallout 76 run through. Me, Michael, and 2 other friends are doing a fun little run through. So if you're interested in that, hang out on this Sunday. Otherwise, thanks for the support. Thanks for hanging out with us, and have a good weekend. We're already 42 minutes over. It's Mitch. No, that's not Mitch. I'm getting up. Sunset. Or Jules.
Mitch is just calling people stupid.
Join us in the Fall Stupid. Yes, do what Mitch says. Otherwise, have a kitty. I'll let the credits roll here. It is a good time. The Fallout streams are just us having like a chill time, like shooting things. I don't know. That actually doesn't sound the same. Yeah. Thank you for coming, that fan.
So what did you think of G5?
It looked good.
It looked good?
It's pictures! There's not much you could take from pictures!
It's the best thing ever. It's clear that they're all cyborgs bent on world domination.
Dude, like Transformers, ponies in disguise.
Ponies in... That's Equestria Girls.
You can't even say this copyright infringement. It's the same company.
It's the same company. That's Equestria Girls are ponies in disguise. Equestria Girls are Transformers, everyone.
Dude, okay. Everybody email Hasbro. You need this.
Ponies in disguise.